Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Katie Halper Show. How's everyone doing? I'm Katie Halper, and I'm here with Jack Allison. Hello, Jack.
Hello. What's going on? Good to see you, Katie. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. You?
I'm just fine. I'm fine. I'm fine.
Fine. Okay. Well, there is a really great show happening tonight, right here, and we're going to be talking to Margaret Kimberly from the Black Agenda Report. She's also the author of a very good book called
Great book.
Prejudential. Yeah, you guys had Margaret on Struggle Session.
At your recommendation, but the book is really excellent.
It's really good, right?
I honestly, we'll talk about it with her, but
Okay,
I think it's a great recommendation as like a kind of mini people's history of the United States.
Yeah.
Like, because that book is kind of like a little bit like daunting. It's so big and so much history in there. I love Prejudential.
Yeah, Prejudential or
Prejudential is a great sort of
Black America and the presidents.
Just a quick history of how America, how every president has been
is anti-racist. Every president is an anti-racist. Is a
racist.
Oh, right. Sorry, I got it back.
Not an anti-racist. No.
I know.
Well, we're not. Now, it's only now in 2021 that racism is over.
Oh yeah. Well, yes, exactly. And it happened in when was he sworn in?
11 days ago.
Yeah. So I feel like the racism's over.
What a great 11 days, by the way.
What a great 11 days. We're going to get to that, but let me just tell people the second amazing guest, okay? And that is Justin Jackson, the LA Charger and also activist, and he's very very good on and very passionate about Force the Vote, and we'll get into that. But guys, first of all, I just want to tell everyone that right now, everyone should please like the stream. Like this stream, subscribe, and to subscribe, you just hit subscribe, and then you press the bell button, and there you go. You see that message in the left. And what else can I tell people to do?
Honestly, I'm seeing people talk about it in the chat, and it's actually bothering me too. I'm going to see if I can come back on.
Why?
I'm going to remove myself. You're on the right side of the screen because you came in late.
Like that. Okay, so got it. Oh, that's so funny.
There we go. I
was like, what are you guys talking about?
It was bothering me too. I was like, I saw the chat talking about it, but I was like, this isn't right.
It's not
Katie's
right.
show.
Yeah. So I have to be on the left because it's my show.
Yeah.
Well, now that we've gotten that out of the way, you guys should really like the show because how about that for customer service? So just
look at that.
So press like, or as someone just said in the chat, Katie Halper, I want to love the stream. Like is just not enough. Oh,
they
thank
you. They
you.
have the love button.
They have to have the love button. Yeah.
Love button already.
Yeah. Put that love button in. Yeah. And again, to subscribe, you hit subscribe and then the bell. And if you have a couple of shekels, rubles, rupees, then you can become Patreon supporters at patreon.com/The Katie Halper Show. So, again, great show. Margaret Kimberly, Justin Jackson, they're going to be joining us in the first, third, I don't even know what it is, the something segment of the show. But Jack and I are first, we're going to...
we got to bullshit first.
Well, we got to kibitz. Yeah, we definitely got to do that. Yeah. How's my mic? Is my mic better than usual, guys?
It sounds good to me, yeah.
It sounds better, right? My mic is not always so good. We're going to get it better, though. But this is a first step, hopefully. And let's see. I wanted to just share some news. What should we talk about? There's so much to talk about. One thing is that the Dems have a great announcement that they're making. I don't want to just say it. I actually want to show it to you guys.
Very exciting.
It's very exciting, right? 1 second. Why is it logging me out of Twitter? Oh my God, that's all I need. I may need you to. Can you screen share, Jack?
But you gotta send me the link. Where is it?
To Twitter. Okay, it's just that famous announcement that the Dems made. That's really exciting.
Let me just try to find it for you. I'm sure I can get it for you.
I think
we love it. Very, very exciting. Now this is excellent.
In fact, we can live tweet this. We can live tweet this like we do sometimes.
Now this is excellent messaging. Okay, let me try to share my screen here.
If you can't, I will be able to.
I think I can do it. It says.
I constantly have to change my thing, and don't remember what it is. Sorry guys. This is people pay money for this kind of access, but on the Katie Halper Show, you just get it.
There we are.
All right, there we go. Okay, can you look at that? You look at that beauty. Can you make it full screen?
This is messaging. This is some beautiful messaging. Let's zoom it in.
So let's zoom it in. Yeah. So let's see what they wrote. Can you scroll up a bit? Yeah.
POTUS will build on the $600 down payment provided by Congress last year, and we got to be on. Well, we'll get into it. Sending an additional $1,400 to households across America, totaling direct payments to $2,000 per person.
Yeah,
and here it is.
Yeah, let's zoom in on that because you can see. Yeah. American Rescue Plan will provide $1,400 per person relief checks, and then can you zoom in so we can see what it says?
I can read it, but I don't know if I can.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, just read it. Yeah.
There we go. I think I can get it actually.
Oh, I see.
Deliver immediate direct relief to Americans. Expand eligibility to adult dependents, and expand and improve delivery of economic impact payments. Wow.
Everyone hear how Jack just said expand? That was his dad's Canadian accent coming out. Yeah. So this is amazing messaging, right? I mean, what does this tell us?
Here's the thing, Katie. What I think is so incredible, or what's interesting about this messaging is, if I was someone that worked for the Democrats, it's got to be 5D chess in some way. You know what I mean? This has got to be 14-dimensional chess, because the immediate thing that you'd think if you were putting together messaging for like a political group or something like that is that the number you'd want to put in big, bold letters would be $2,000. You know what I mean? Like, even if the plan is to only send out $1,400, it feels like even if you're trying to pull that bullshit, you should write $2,000 in the image and then say in the text, like, it's 2,000 minus 600 or whatever.
Right.
The thing is, what's actually so brilliant about this, Katie, is that this is a brilliant step toward actually only giving us $800. Because they don't want to give us $1,400. You know what I mean? If they wrote $2,000, and they've been talking about $2,000, that would be the point. That'd be the start of the negotiation to get us to a $1,400. Making such a big stink about $1,400 is a great way to get everybody ready for them to only give us $1,000 when when the Republicans demand that. That's literally what I actually think it is now. Like, them raising such a stink about it and actually shifting the goalpost to $1,400 is so that we can be okay with it when they move it down to only $1,000 or $800.
Right. Yeah, I think that this is again, it's like, I don't know. Do they really think that, like, I guess they really know that the left, and we're going to talk about this a lot with our guests later on, but the left just won't go anywhere. Right? So they don't fear any defection or losing people?
I think the left in this country is weak. I don't know what to say. Like, you know what I mean? The left is very, very weak in this country. And, I just don't, I don't think they give a shit about us is really what I think.
No, of course they don't.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't even think that they care at all about the left, even as like a voting block. You know what I mean? Like, this, if any, this is as much like putting the boot to the mouth of the left as it is like setting themselves up to negotiate down to 800. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
And also, I'm also going to say, like, they're going to fucking lose. Like, they're going to lose the midterms. Like, they're going to lose the midterms, and they deserve to lose, and they want to lose. You know what I mean? Like, they don't want to govern. Like, this is a very tricky position for them to be in, actually controlling, all three branches of government or whatever. That's a tricky position to not do anything in. I think because they can no longer blame it
on Republicans, which is what they love doing, because
Well, if they actually I swear to God, they're going to run in 2022 when COVID is still not gone, by the way, because it's not going to be gone, because they're just, Katie, they're going to give everybody the 2/3 vaccine and then be like, get back to work.
Yeah. That's it. That is so disgusting.
I'm going to say something that will get
Are you going to write a screenplay?
No, I'm going to.
Okay.
I'm going to say something that will get clipped by the people who like to pull clips of the dumb left.
Hi, Queen.
Stuff like that.
What are they named? Yeah.
Queen in Yellow or whoever the hell.
And that other Dimitri guy.
Matt Dimitri. This one's for you, buddy. This one's for Matt Dimitri. I miss Trump. And I'll tell you why.
He said it.
I'll tell you why. At least when Trump was president, everybody fucking hated the president for doing a bad job.
Yeah, and we all
Everybody hated the president for doing a bad job. And now we've got the exact same COVID plan, which is go back to work, go back to school, and nobody gives a shit about it. We're getting articles that are like, Biden has done more in his first 10 days than Trump did in his first 4 years. I don't miss the policies of Trump, but they're the same as the fucking policies today. None of the kids have been. No one's getting reunited. There's no plan to reunite any of the kids. We're not getting any fucking money. I miss when the media hated the president.
That is well said. And someone out there, I want this clip now. Clip it out. Redirect people here.
That one's for Matt Dimitri.
No, but we need to I want to co-op Jack. I want to reclaim Jack. I want to reclaim this argument because honestly, it's really true. And I felt so much like, I don't know. Whatever your thoughts on Trump versus Biden are, it is 100% true that people are absolutely not vigilant. They're not. And the left is powerless. And so I don't know what we're going to do, except maybe we'll lose. Maybe we got it. I kind of think we have to do third party next time. I do. I'm sorry. I just think that we're going to have to.
Katie, I'm never, ever going to vote for a Democrat again in my life.
Yeah.
That's really how I'm feeling these days. And I got shamed a lot about it last time. I think that I don't have to. I live in California. Maybe I'll vote for a Democrat if there's someone local that I really like or something like that. Sure. But I'm never going to vote for a Democrat again in my entire life. And anyone who fucking respects themselves shouldn't either. Because this kind of rope-a-dope, like playing with people's lives, like in a situation like this, giving $1,400 when Trump gave $1,800. Trump gave $1,800, and we're gonna fucking get negotiated down to $1,000.
Yeah. And the sending back to work. I mean, I guess there's talk of like a defense act, right? Where they're
gonna do the defense act or whatever to get the masks made, and I think that is ultimately a good thing. But they're also really moving very fast on getting kids back to school, and a lot of this is based on a CDC study that they keep citing. They keep citing the CDC study that says it may be safe for kids to go back to school. But that CDC study, when you actually look at it, says it may be safe for kids to go back to school with social distancing if all the businesses are shut down. If we're shutting down spread in every other way. Never going to happen. Never going to happen.
Not only never going to happen, but it's being encouraged by Democrats.
Where Democrats are reopening. I live in fucking California. I live in like the liberal utopia of the world. And I am walking down the street today and the restaurants are packed. It's packed out there. Every single restaurant is out on the streets, just like full of people. The streets in Beverly Hills are just full of restaurants. But it's not only the rich people. If you go over to Los Feliz, it's like every fucking people want. Here's the thing. And it's hard for me to even blame the people, the individuals on this. You know what I mean? I think it is irresponsible to go out to a restaurant, but I'm not even mad at those people. I'm mad at the government for like leaving us for a fucking year without any assistance and closing all the restaurants and saying like, you're actually not even allowed to go to parks. Like, I actually think that's insane. Like, he shut down the parks and then reopened the restaurants.
Who's he? Gavin Newsom?
Newsom and fucking Garcetti. You know what I mean? Like,
and why did they do that?
Down, why did they? Why they shut down the parks and then they drove everybody insane? I don't know. I have no idea. I maybe just because they were like, well, we don't want people to do anything if the businesses aren't open. I can't. That's another problem here in California is Gavin Newsom does all these conversations behind closed doors. Like, he just comes out and tells us we're reopening. And, it's like, I hate Governor Cuomo, and I think he's evil and obviously like, underreported nursing home deaths and everything like that. And I think his big press conferences, gave them
immunity first, remember?
Yeah, and he gave them immunity from litigation before letting them kill everybody's grandparents and then underreporting those.
Yeah, he definitely has blood on. I mean, not just so we know, he 100% has
grandma blood all over his hands.
Grandma and grandpa blood all over his hands. Yeah,
he's got grandma blood all over his hands. But what Newsom, but at least Cuomo goes on TV and makes us all aware of what his dumb idiot guy reasoning is. You know what I mean? Like, at least he goes on TV. Well, at least he
hides it, but he then when he gets what he does do is he nobody ever benefited more from Trump than the Democrats because all Cuomo had to do was speak in rational, logical sentences. They didn't even have to be honest. He just had to not suggest injecting bleach. And because of that, he was a man of reason and he was rational, logical. He had things under control, and people felt very. I almost think though it's dangerous in the similar way that Biden is dangerous, and that everyone is kind of duped and they think he's a good guy.
Right? No, I agree. Listen, all I was trying to say is this: like, I think Cuomo's,
you are a Cuomo. It's called Cuomo. I think Cuomo apologist. Yeah.
I think Cuomo's press conferences are an absolute joke. It's ridiculous that he won the Emmys for it. The only comparison I'm trying to make is The only comparison I'm trying to make is Gavin Newsom just makes decisions and comes out and is like, here's the decision. Right. And he doesn't tell anybody. He's just running the state like a CEO, like a technocrat CEO. We don't get to know why he's reopening. It just happens all of a sudden that the state is reopening and everybody has to scramble and nobody even knows the reason why.
Yeah, Matt P. asks, is this an argument on who's the worst liberal governor? It could be. So who do we got? We have Gavin Newsom. We should have people vote. We got Gavin Newsom.
Newsom and Cuomo are like the top tier. Those are your like top tier, like liberal. Liberals love them. Yeah. They're thought of as doing so great.
They're good on social issues. I mean, you can't be good on social issues when you're enforcing austerity, which is 100. What? Wait, did I not say? Wait, Maria just said it's Gavin.
I think she's saying that's worse? The worst.
I think. Oh, got it. I thought I mispronounced it.
No, yeah. I think she might be saying it's the worst one.
Now, I'm a New Yorker, and Maria. Everyone say hi to Maria and Brad behind the scenes right now. I mean, you guys overtly can say hi to them, but they're behind the scenes. I'm from New York. Maria's from California, so she may be engaging in some statism.
See, all of us are. That's what I'm doing too. I'm like, Gavin's the worst. You know. I mean, they're both equally very, very bad. The other thing I'd say is this.
I'm gonna do a Twitter vote right now, and we'll read the results. Yep.
Who's the worst liberal? Who's the worst liberal governor? The other thing I was gonna say is this. You said before that all they had to do comparatively to Trump was not tell people to drink bleach. I actually think that part of the reason why things went anywhere, like why we shut down at all, why we shut down the economy and stuff like that. I'm not 100% sure that would have happened if Trump wasn't president. You know what I mean? Because all of our sort of Dem governors were in a position where they had to react against the White House saying, we want to keep things open. And they were like, fuck that. We are not going to open things. Fuck Trump. Now that Biden's in, they're just like, let's reopen. They're just going to do what the White House says. The White House is saying the same thing. It's just before they were like, fuck you, Trump. I'm a governor that stands up for myself. California is its own nation.
Right. And now they're just doing whatever the Biden's doing because there's not this built-in opposition.
Because there's not a built-in opposition. It's like when the Biden White House tells you to do something, they're like, how high, sir? When Trump tells you to do it, it's like, let me get on TV. The Trump administration just sent us this notice and I'm tearing it up on TV. Yeah. Fuck you, Trump. You know what I mean? It's like...
Yeah. By the way, I just tried to do a poll and I forgot to put in the names of the people. No. So hold on, guys. Give me a chance. All we are saying is give me a chance. You know that song? Who is that? Is that the Beatles? No.
All we are saying.
Who is that?
It might be actually.
All right. Andrew Cuomo or.
No, that's some liberal shit.
The Beatles?
All we are saying is give peace a chance. I'm sorry. I got to say that's pretty lib.
Newsom is spelled with an E at the end or no E at the end?
Yeah. I think it does have an E at the end, and I should know this. Let me look it up.
All right.
Nope. Yeah, no E at the end.
He's your man. Okay. Nope, no, I had put the E just so you know. Now, why don't we give it? We're gonna make this an app. I mean, we got to put the pressure on. I'm gonna say a 2-hour poll because people need to decide now. All right, ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Who is the worst governor? Who is the worst liberal governor?
Yeah.
Who is the worst?
Tough.
Who is the worser? How the hell do I
say
this?
I think worse. Who is the worst? Yeah, worse is the right way to say it. Well, unless you're trying to say who is the worst. Like, are you trying to ask which one is worse of the two?
Yeah, the two. Yeah.
So then it's just the E.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Alrighty. I tweeted it out. We're good. I forgot to put the link. Crap. You know what? It is so hard to tweet. This is not going to be our. You know how last week we did a great. Oh, Jack, we did well. Did you see this?
Oh no, I didn't.
Pretty well. Yeah, when we tweeted out, we blamed Glenn Greenwald for what's her name, Lauren Wolf's firing.
Yes.
Yeah, and that was good. We did a live tweet, so I think we should do a live tweet. Actually, what I would like us to do tonight is, oh no, I did link to it. Oh my lord, what I would like us to do tonight is do a live tweet where we tweet as if we are the Dems. Like, I want us to do GIFs and images of the Dems announcing other things, like the 1400. Like, do you think, so it's like, had the other day we did.
I think, yeah. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Go. Well, no, the other day we showed Jen Psaki saying that he is a devout Catholic. And so I was thinking how we could make like a cutesy image of that. Like a cutesy, like that's a pretty GIF. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I want, so good friend of the show, Josh Bregman, pointed out that like the Dems right now, the president is the opposite of what it used to be, because it used to be that Trump was insane on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's actually just like policy announcements on Twitter.
You know, honestly, what I think would be a good gimmick Twitter account, and I'm giving up Twitter this year, Katie. I'm done.
Yeah. Well, you
I'm
say
done.
that a lot. You're like in an abusive relationship.
I shan't do it ever again.
You've
And I
said
say
that
it now.
before.
I say it now before everybody. I say it now before 1,000 people. I won't be on that wretched website. I got to be honest with you. I think it died when Trump left, and I would have left then, but I didn't want to but all the conservatives were leaving, and I didn't want to do it then because everyone would be like, Jack's a conservative too, or whatever. But what I think would be a good gimmick account is if you did like if Biden tweeted like Trump. You know what I mean? Because I think that would show everybody that it's the same. You know what I mean? If it was like $1,400, then back to work, something like that.
This is the greatest country on earth. Yeah, let's do that now. Let's do if Biden tweeted like Trump. That's good.
That's a good gimmick account. You know what I mean?
That's a good gimmick account.
Because you could take all the policies, literally every tweet that Biden does, and then just write it in the Trump style or whatever.
Yeah, let's do it. Guys, we need a graphic. And today's live tweet of the day is, also, what is the deal? Okay, get out of here. I don't want you. Why is Marxist and Hugo Chavez, why are they trending?
Oh, boy. Oh, I don't know.
Do we know?
I don't know.
Oh, look at this. We got Kat and also, oh, no, I thought that was
you know that there's a coup going on in Myanmar right now.
Oh, I did not know that. Who's on first? Who's doing
They just
the coup?
the military's doing a coup, and they arrested the leader of the major party of the country.
Well, Jack, you know what this reminds me of, and we've not been very good on this, and we need to do this again.
What's that?
You know what?
That ain't it, Chief.
This is the coup is this week's. That ain't it, Chief. So Myanmar coup. That ain't it, Chief.
I want to say to the military leaders of Myanmar who have arrested Aung San Suu Kyi, the leader of the civilian government in Myanmar. That ain't right. That ain't it, Chief.
You messed
that
it
ain't
up.
I know. Okay, I'll say it again.
How dare you?
To the leaders of the military in Myanmar, if you're watching, that ain't it, Chief.
How do I spell Myanmar coup?
Myanmar.
All right, hold on. Watch this. Ready? Guys, we're getting really fancy right now.
That ain't it, Chief.
Do you see that
look, we got the lower third scrolling. Oh, I like that.
Oh, not Myanmar. Sorry, let me edit this. It's not that it's Myanmar. It's that ain't it.
Myanmar's military leaders?
Myanmar coup.
Yeah, Myanmar coup.
It probably is a general, right? Hold on. Wait, isn't that woman kind of controversial, though? Like, we used to like her, but she's very human rightsy. I bet Margaret can tell us all about her. I feel like Margaret's very good on this stuff. The pseudo pro-human rights actually really bad. Did I spell Myanmar right?
That's how you spell it, yeah.
All right, great. So this week someone tell me what's going on. Is this a really, I don't know. I think that honestly are telling these people that I think it may stop the coup. I'm just saying.
She did a genocide? Well, I don't know. Maybe she should get coup.
Yeah.
Maybe she should get coup. What do I know?
You know what? Hold on.
But I don't know.
Wait,
Coups aren't good.
We got to have a backup. Hold on one second. That might not be it, Chief, but we're not well enough versed in sort of international news to know for sure. Yeah, okay, ready? Boom.
That ain't it, Chief. Yeah, there we go.
I didn't mean to do that. Oh my God. I feel like that may not be it. That possibly ain't it, Chief. How about
it might not be it. This might not
be it. I like
it.
keeping the ain't, though.
Yeah, okay, you're right.
Ain't it, Chief.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Save. Okay. That possibly ain't it, Chief. Myanmar coup. So, guys, there's with power comes responsibility, and I think we covered both bases. So, depending on what we find out, should I do a tweet Myanmar coup? That ain't it, Chief.
I don't know. On Twitter, you might find yourself getting in trouble. You might get canceled all of a sudden. You might find that people really like the coup or something like that.
Or don't like it. Yeah,
I wouldn't.
All right, we won't mess with it. Yeah, but we will. What we will do is, what we will do right now is we will do a if Biden tweeted like Trump.
Yes, if Biden tweeted like Trump. Okay, so let me pull up Joe Biden's Twitter and have a look.
Well, there's also POTUS.
Oh yes, the @POTUS account. That's
so we got to cover maybe both of those. So
I think POTUS is the one that's the best one.
I think that's it. That is it, Chief. Oh, happy birthday, Kyle Kalinske. You know what? Let's say happy birthday to him. Happy birthday. Oh, should I be really like gross and link to a very good video of him that I did of him on the show? Right?
Yeah, why not?
I mean, we live in the capitalist world system. Once we don't,
we have to live under this system.
Yeah, we have.
That's why we're all buying GameStop stock.
Yep, GameStop. Let's see. What was the? Yeah, people really like this. It's why he caved to Crystal Ball. Hold on. Let's see. Where is that one? He also did one on the Diet Coup, which is kind of apt, relevant. All right, here we go. All right, we're gonna open this bad boy up. Why do people say stuff like that? All right. All right, so you guys saw it here first.
Oh, wow.
Shout out to Happy Birthday, Kyle Kalinske. May Crystal Ball convince, turn your mother into a Bernie bro for your birthday. All right. Okay, ready? Is that Crystal Ball? That's right? Okay,
yeah.
See you. All right. Awesome. Okay, so let's do this. So what are we doing? We're doing.
I'm trying to find a good tweet
guys, give us
for Biden.
If Trump, but what's the hashtag? I'm taking. What is it? I'm bringing hashtags back.
Oh yeah, we're bringing hashtags. I'm bringing hashtags back. Okay, that's fine.
I could even make that a hashtag. Yeah. So if Biden tweeted like Trump. Right? Is that a good hashtag?
How about this?
All right.
I mean, literally, I'm sending you well, I can share. I'll just share the screen, actually. 1 second here. Let me do that.
Everyone follow Phoenix Khalida. I don't know if it's Khalida or Khalida.
Huh. I'm having trouble sharing the screen, but I have it here. It says, the sooner we get our kids and educators back in the classroom, the sooner parents can go back to work. But we need the funding to do it. My American Rescue Plan...
Wait, let me get this. Let me, I think you can, now you try to share the screen.
Oh, okay. So where is it again to do the screen share? Do I have to go to my...
or if you just put it in
it's here at the bottom. I found it. Sorry. 1 sec.
988, guys. We got to bring people into the... Okay.
The sooner we get our kids and educators back in the classroom, the sooner parents can go back to work. But we need the funding to do it.
Can you send me the link? Sorry. Can you DM me or put it in the chat?
I'm putting it in the private chat right here. There we go. Right. My American Rescue Plan will deliver much needed support to our nation's schools to help them reopen and operate safely.
Okay. So let's do this as a Trump. Should I do a quote tweet of this or a screenshot?
I think a quote tweet of this would work. All right,
so let me kick you out of the share, and then we're going to bring in our first guest.
Okay, cool. Let me. I'll move myself there. There we go.
Okay, let's see. Where are we? Okay, share screen. What is that? President Biden on Twitter. Okay, here we are. Ready?
Yeah. So let's quote tweet this.
All right. So,
okay. So maybe if Biden tweeted like Trump.
If Biden tweeted like Trump.
But I don't know if you want to do your hashtag.
What do you think?
Okay. So maybe just if Biden tweeted like Trump and then the colon perhaps or
colon.
An ellipsis is good too.
Colon's better. All right.
I think it's like we need kids back in school so that parents can get all caps back to work.
But it has to be like beautiful, healthy. Our American kids are the beautiful, right?
We need our beautiful American kids back in school so that parents can get back to work.
American kids are the most beautiful, healthy. What specimens he wouldn't say.
Are the most beautiful, healthy.
What would he say?
Are the most beautiful. Okay. America has the most beautiful and healthy kids in the world. America has the most beautiful and healthy kids in the world.
Oh wait, he wouldn't do. Okay, America has the greatest.
That has the greatest, most beautiful and healthy kids in the world.
He right end, right?
Yeah, and healthy kids. I even like the capital K for kids, just as a weird in the world.
Yeah,
like
kids. How about kids? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, get them back to school.
Like, get them back to school so we can get parents back to work, all capitals.
Something about how they're miserable. Well, you know what I mean? Like, they're miserable at home.
They're miserable. They're miserable at home. Yeah, they're miserable at home.
It's a travesty. Would he say that?
It's outrageous. Yeah, it's an outrage. Get them to school so that the parents can get back to work.
So,
parents,
don't you think America?
Yeah, America.
So American parents.
Yeah, can get back to work. All capitals.
Who are the best and brightest, or something?
Who are the best and brightest? Sure.
Can get back to work. Does he say stuff like "God bless America"?
Well, I was going to even say toward the end, it's like, Congress must pass the American Rescue Plan. What are you doing? Congress must pass the American Rescue Plan. What are you doing?
Shame. What is it? American? Corrupt, right? Corrupt losers. Congress must pass the American Rescue Plan.
Oh, you're out of space.
Yeah, we'll do it. Hold on. If Biden tweeted like Trump. All right. America has the greatest, most beautiful, and
maybe we don't need beautiful. Maybe just the greatest.
It's pretty good. I think we need it. They're miserable at home. Get them.
Maybe
and they're suffering at home or something.
I mean, we're not going to save us. And they're bored at home, and they're bored, and then
get them to school so American parents who are the best and brightest can get back to work.
I think you need to do back to work, all capitals with 3 exclamation points. Actually. Congress must pass the American Rescue Plan.
What about corrupt losers?
Corrupt Congress. Losers? There we go. And fix rescue. It says rescue.
Where is that?
Yeah, second to last word.
Oh, thank you.
You've transposed the C.
Okay. God bless America. USA. Does he ever do USA? Let's see if anyone has any.
Maybe just throw a USA.
Okay. If anyone has any
characters. Yeah, there you go. Perfect.
Let's see if anyone has any really good. If anyone has really good suggestions, let us know. Yeah, Garden Gnome is saying find an actual Trump tweet and build it from there, but we don't have time. We'll go back to
we got to get Margaret on.
We got to get Margaret on, yeah. How many, I don't know how many subscribers this channel has, but we got to bump it up. Okay, so Maria is saying this is good, and let's just do it.
Let's just send it.
I think we should do it.
Remove the open quote. Remove the open quote. It will bother me otherwise.
Oh.
You have an open quote after the colon. We can't close it, so just remove it.
Oh, got it. Yeah, I think that's right.
You could put a line break if you want.
Oh, a space?
No, just press return and do a line break.
That's what I meant.
That's what we're talking about.
Now that's it. No, we don't want people we don't want to deprive them, right?
Now that's a tweet. Now that's a tweet.
Oh, should I add one? Maria's saying use a colon. Should I add one? Please add your own. Or is that too? Please add your own.
Yeah, sure. That's good.
Add your own what? If Biden.
Please add your own and then maybe put the hashtag if Biden tweeted like Trump.
Yeah. And we're just gonna hashtag it up. I don't care. Okay. All right. That's it, right? And then you know what? And we will read them. Is that too self-promoting? We will read them.
We'll read them on the show. Why not? See, you live in capitalist America. You got to do bullshit like that.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Okay. So now what do I do? That's it, right? Oh, I got a link to the show. That's it. And then we'll be done. And we'll bring in Margaret. Why did I say Margaret? Like it's... This is good. You guys, we're at 988. Guys, everyone tell your friends and family.
Tell your 12 friends to get here. What the hell?
Get here. Yeah. Tell them. Ask them what they're doing. What are they doing? Because it's really offensive and problematic. Okay. All right. Awesome. I think we did a great job. And I think we're going to get more. I don't know. Now we're not going to. He got a lot of likes. What a loser. Loser. You know what? I'm going to elevate Seema right here. And I'm sorry. I don't know if it's Seema or Sema, but she's great and everyone should follow her. Let's see if we got any votes on this. Oh, we already got one like.
Bernie liked it. Look at that.
Bernie. Thank you, Bernie. I'm a little bit mad at Bernie.
Wow. I'm not going to look any further at that. That's a Bernie like? Damn.
Let's see. All right. The Katie Halper bumped up. Okay. So, all right. Let's bring in our... We'll have to check that. we're going to bring in our first guest. And boy, are we excited. She's great. Her name is Margaret Kimberly. She is a senior columnist and editor at Black Agenda Report and also the author of Prejudential, Black America and the Presidents. Hello, Margaret.
Hi, guys.
Hi, how are you?
Good to see you.
Good.
And look at this, guys. I just saw 1040 and then it went to 998. Guys, everyone like this. We need 2 more people so that we can feel whole. Okay. It is a 3. Okay, great. So, it is Margaret. Yeah, you're right. So Margaret,
Yes.
how are you doing tonight? Thank you for joining us. You are.
Thank you for having me back. You were one of the first people to help promote my book.
There you go.
About this time, and here it is. I just put it in front of my face.
Wow, that's marketing.
It's
That's
really
marketing.
But
I was trying to market a book during a pandemic. It was kind of I have to do what I can. Yes, Presidential Black America and the Presidents. It was published February 4th, so it's almost the first anniversary.
Wow.
And we're still talking about presidents, aren't we? You know.
Yeah. And racism is, I thought it was over, but apparently not.
We have our first non-racist president, right? I mean, like this would be this.
Yeah.
This would be a tough chapter to write. You know, if you wanted to keep writing it.
Weren't we post-racial after Obama?
Yeah, that's
right.
Right.
So there was 8 years of post-racialism, and then there was 4 years of abject, overt racism, and now we're post-racial again. Come on, no more.
We keep going back from being done with racism to it comes back. You know, it's like Jaws, or it's like an end of like a slasher movie or something.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it is, and it's still there. But it just goes to show you how stupid it was to talk about a post-racial country.
Yep.
Because of Obama.
And Jan is saying, Margaret still loved the propaganda panel you did with Blumenthal, Mate, and Lee Camp. Yeah, I was there. It was a great panel.
Yes, yeah, November 2019. Thank you so much, Jan. It was great. It was we had a great evening, big crowd of people. And
it was at the People's Church. Was that where it was? The People's Church?
It's the community church. It's on East Side, East 30.
Yeah, East 30s,
something like that.
Yeah.
And
and I quote tweeted you, and you said something. You called Malcolm Nance like a bozo or something, I think. So I quote tweeted you.
Bozo? I didn't come up with anything better than that.
I think it was probably Bozo is pretty good. It's low key good.
Funny.
Hold on a second. I'm turning up the heat. 1 second.
Bozo's like a funny way to.
He is such a charlatan. It's like I made all the wrong decisions in life. If I just babbled nonsense about Russia, I could be making a fortune now.
I
know. I love when people say we're being paid, like you or like Glenn Greenwald, Matt Taibbi. Yeah.
I wish, but no, I don't hold a candle to Malcolm Nance. He should be kissing Russia's flag every morning.
I know, it's really ridiculous. Yeah. So you have some really amazing pieces at Black Agenda Report. And we can, of course, there's so much to talk about. We can talk about anything you want to talk about. But I was really, I loved 3 of your pieces that I loved were the Black demands for the Biden administration. You also had pro-Biden propaganda. And then you had a really interesting one, which was about censorship in the Biden era. So should we start with the propaganda one? I think that's probably a good place to start.
It's so obvious, with Trump gone, whoever came after Trump was going to get a lot of cheap praise anyhow. But it's really been over the top. I mean, the inauguration day, it's like, oh my God, the first ladies wore purple. And then there was the young poet, and Biden he's Catholic. He goes to church. He's got dogs. He loves his wife. It's just sickening to me. But the corporate media are his people. They're on his side. And so we just get these ridiculous tropes. We get lies told on his behalf. Do the New York Times and Washington Post point out that he said $2,000? I mean, he's on record as saying the stimulus was going to be $2,000, not we're going to subtract 600 from 2,000. But he's getting away with it. It's like, look at all his executive orders. And so first he was going to put drilling on federal lands on pause, and then just like I think it was Friday, there were all these new leases that the federal government gave for oil and gas drilling. So, but we're seeing a lot of, I mean, it's a replay of Obama, actually, where he can get away with anything. It's very frightening to me if you make nice with the corporate media, which Trump wasn't smart enough to do. If you make nice with the corporate media and have the right friends, nobody cares what you did. So that Obama, for example, destroyed the nation of Libya, which created an ongoing humanitarian crisis in the Mediterranean, caused also by his attempt to destroy Syria. But you see stories about this migrant crisis in the Mediterranean that don't mention his name and don't mention the word Libya.
Right.
That's what happens when they like you. And that's where we are with Biden. It looks like he's going to continue the regime change efforts, the sanctions, all the things that Trump did that were so terrible. But although I have to say, when it came to foreign policy, the corporate media would back Trump up. So
only when he was doing something more belligerent. Like, they didn't back him up, right, when he was considering, scaling things back. That was when he was doing it for Russia.
He was a Russian traitor.
Right.
And they're currently undermining these efforts at a peace deal with the Taliban in Afghanistan because he's meaner. He's tough with Russia. And people have been praising him because of this alleged, mean phone call he had with Vladimir Putin.
Good God.
So it's although Trump, for all his what did they say? He does everything Putin wants, and all roads lead to Putin. Wasn't that Nancy Pelosi?
Nancy Pelosi, yeah.
But he increased NATO spending, wouldn't sign the treaties the Russians wanted to sign, sanctioned Russian officials, and all of this was supposed to be doing what Putin wanted.
I was going to say, honestly, if Russia if they were really cultivating an asset over 20 years and finally got them to be the president, what a bad return on investment. Truly bad return.
Those nefarious Russians apparently aren't very smart. Now they're saying it's 40 years. Now it's again that somebody's written some stupid book about the Russians have been cultivating him since the 80s. When he first went to Russia in an effort to build a Trump Tower there and failed. He went to Russia several times and failed every time to build something in Moscow.
Right.
So clearly they didn't care for all that cultivation, didn't really care about him that much.
Right.
And also,
Nancy Pelosi said that about the Capitol revolt. Sorry.
Oh, no. What did she say?
Just Nancy Pelosi said that about the Capitol riot, the day of the riot.
It was on Hillary's
show.
It was on Hillary's show, which you know what it is called? It's called You and Me Both, which is hilarious. First of all, I love it. You and Me Both. Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton said she'd love to see his phone records, and Nancy Pelosi, because she's like, and I'd love to see if he was on the phone with Putin during the Capitol riots. And then Pelosi literally is like, and we clipped this so you can find it on YouTube because Leslie Lee and Matt Christman and I all responded to it. And Pelosi says, well, you remember that day that I was so rude to him in my blue suit? You're not supposed to say that.
She said, remember when I rudely pointed to him when I was wearing that blue suit? She actually said rudely pointed. I'm like, that is how I would sarcastically describe what you did. And you're saying it.
Yes, exactly.
And talked about the colors she was wearing.
Exactly.
Yes, she was like,
it was, I thought it was hilarious when Hillary said we should see his phone records, and Nancy Pelosi, and I wondered if you could read her mind. She's probably rolling her eyes saying, this again, Russia again. But there's no way that, I don't even know if Hillary Clinton still believes this. I think she can't cope with the fact that after all those years of scheming, her turn came along and she screwed it up.
Right.
Because she couldn't get 78,000 votes in the right places. But this is never going to end. We see the cheap praise of Biden already, the covering up for him already, and it's going to be a long 4 years and a very dangerous 4 years, because people defend it. They'll start to ask a question, and why is it 1400 supposed to be 2000? But then it's give him a chance. He just started. What do you want, Trump? But Trump. Well, you can't get everything.
Yes, but Trump. Exactly.
Honestly, at this point, we're 10% through the first 100 days. You know, like how long has he just started? You know what I mean?
Yes.
And presidents have a lot of power. They can do a lot without Congress. Trump did. That was one of the things he did, not to do anything I wanted him to do. But Biden is already coasting along with these, just with the fact that Trump is gone. They're calling him a healer. That makes me crazy. He's not a preacher. He's not a doctor. He's supposed to govern. People voted for him to do the things they wanted him to do. That's his job. And he'll heal the country if he does what most people want him to do.
Right. Like $2,000 or more.
Yes. Yeah. Or the minimum wage, $15 an hour minimum wage in 2025.
Yeah.
After that's just trying to create issues for the next 2 elections. That's just them saying like, oh, here's what we want to run on. I want to run on the $15 minimum wage. And we're going to that's also saying like we have to keep all these levers of power that whole time because it will get stripped back otherwise. Saying that you want a $15 minimum wage in 2025 is as good as saying we don't want to do a $15 minimum wage.
Well, but we know that. I was listening to your conversation. They don't care about us. They're not afraid of us. They have no fear of progressives. Republicans, on the other hand, are terrified of their voters.
Yeah. And with good reason. They showed up with guns at the Capitol.
But they, and the few who were willing to say Trump should be impeached or in any way condemn what happened in the Capitol on January 6th now have hell to pay. They are being primaried. People are already talking about getting rid of them. But lefts we're the most not active activists. Right. I mean, I'm not saying
And you wrote a piece about that too, yeah.
Yeah, storm the Capitol. But I doubt very much that the left could get the same number of people in Washington on any issue.
Right.
And that is why but I also have to say, I'm green already. I did not vote for Biden. But I think we cannot keep going around and around in this circle where people get angry with the Democrat who never does what we want them to do, but then come right back around and say, well, there's nothing we can do. Excuse me, you can't be a spoiler. There's harm reduction. Trump is the very worst ever. You have no choice but to support these people. And we have to look outside the electoral process in order to bring about change. They're not going to do it. The progressives, the squad, the progressive caucus, the black caucus, all these caucuses, they never do what we want them to do because the Nancy Pelosi's of the world are there to make sure that they don't. Nancy Pelosi's job is to raise money and beat up progressives. And of course, the two things are linked. And the system is set up to make sure that even if they are serious about wanting to do the people's business, that they cannot do it. Mm-hmm. And that's something that progressives have got to accept and accept the responsibility of acting without them.
Yeah. And I just wanted to, by the way, because a picture is worth 1,000 words, right? I wanted to show you guys this act of resistance because I think that it's really not fair. Nancy Pelosi, a lot of people talk about her ripping up Trump's speech, and that every page she ripped up freed another child from a cage. And everyone likes to talk about how she clapped, and we know that when she clapped, that did what? That gave, put a trans person into the army. But people have not spoken enough about this. Hold on. I really want to make sure people have seen this because we got to give credit where credit is due. This is from Wired, which does,
she's pointing.
That's her rudely pointing
That's
at
the
Trump.
Rudely pointing moment.
While you were offline, Trump executes perfect self-own with Pelosi tweet.
This is when I was rudely pointing at him in my blue dress.
The president's attack didn't quite go over as planned. Yeah, look at that. Owned. That's it, guys. This is it. That's it. That is when Nancy Pelosi, I don't know, what did she get done? What happened because of this?
But they always gave him what he wanted.
I know, the war budget.
There's the effort to cut the defense budget by just 10% failed.
Right.
With Democrats joining Republicans. Everything Trump wanted, he got from them. So all this performance is it's insulting.
It's so insulting. It's really sordid. It's really gross. And it goes back to what Jack was saying earlier and what you talk about a lot, Margaret, which is the danger of these alleged allies. Like, people don't have their eye on the ball with these people.
No, we don't have any friends. Like, what do they say in Washington? If you want a friend, get a dog. I mean, I guess that's true for us. We definitely don't have any friends. The military-industrial complex have friends. The CEO of McDonnell Douglas Raytheon, one of them said, "I don't really care who wins." I mean, I'm paraphrasing.
Right. Yeah.
But, he's got no reason to worry.
Because Biden said nothing fundamentally would change. He told them the truth.
Right. So, that's the situation we're in. We live in a dictatorship of money, the dictatorship of the billionaires. The billionaires is
right. The billionaires, as Amo Bernie would say. Yeah.
As Bernie would
Rest
say.
in peace.
But
because he sold out this weekend.
I love Bernie still.
Oh yeah, but he's
under so many pressures and everything like that. But of course, it fucking kills me to see him being like 12,000 minus 600. I'm like, oh God.
Yeah, why?
I know. Just stop. He capitulated. He made his decision. I'm not even going to beat up on him for it, but enough already.
He did it. Yeah.
He made his choice, and we have to try
to move on. It's time to move on.
We have to move on too, and decouple ourselves from these Democrats who always disappoint us. They're always going to disappoint us. If you care about humanity, if you want a peaceful world, if you want the United States to stop interfering in other countries, if you want to get the things that we want, then you've got to stop, hoping that someday some person will come along who's going to rescue us. And there's no rescue. We're our rescuers. We've got to figure out how to do it.
Right. We're the person we've been waiting for, as June Jordan, I believe, said, and then Obama quoted. So why did I vote for him, Halper? Oh, come on. You really want me to get into that? Oh, no. Leslie Lee has a rule. I can't. Well, does that count as talking trash? No, I guess it's a real question, right? We'll get into that later.
We have friends. It's just none of these politicians.
Yeah,
very
that's
well
good,
said.
right? From Phil. Phil's great. Also want to give a shout out and thank you to Murphy, who says, gave a very generous super chat and then says, raise the bar. Also, hi there. This is for you. Thank you, Murphy. Also, Brian Fredericks, I believe I missed one of your super chats. So if you want to put it in here, I will definitely read it. Or if someone wants to find it, you can take a screen grab and tell me what it is. So, and you do any the propaganda examples that you cite in your piece, any of them stand out as particularly bad?
I think everything said about the inauguration, which is just like a stupid ceremony. I'm sorry. It's like 3 people singing. Then there's a poet. Then there's a prayer. Then how many prayers were there? I'm sorry. Clearly, I'm just, just
listen. I feel the same way. I'm like, we just watched the pig president do all this stuff. How do we still take this shit seriously? Like how we just watched Trump do all this pomp and circumstance, and yet we're still like, wow, it's cool to watch the president look at fireworks. I'm like, the whole thing has literally been like covered in diarrhea. You know what I mean? And you're still acting like it's the same as it was.
And right away, what did people say? If any of us raise these issues, can't you let us enjoy ourselves? Have just one day, but it's never just one day. And it just goes on and on and on. So I'm sorry if I was the killjoy, bringing a skunk to the party. Too bad.
You got it. We need more skunks.
Yes, we do. Yes,
that's right.
Yeah, do you remember this one? The CNN's political director, I believe is his name. The lights on the mall were like Biden's arms embracing the nation. He said that. It may be a repressed memory because honestly, it's pretty bad. But yeah, they said that about the memorial that they did on with the 4 what was it? Things representing all the people who died, and he stood there, and Kamala stood there, and
then they went to the tomb. Was it the tomb of the unknown soldier? I was like, why?
Watching them walk around DC to all these stupid places, I'm like, it's like fucking Disneyland. They're like, oh, we're going over to the tomb of the soldier, then the big statue. It's stupid.
That tells you how unserious they are about doing people's business. That's the point of that, to lull you, to get you to forget, to get you to just say, and it wasn't that hard 2 weeks after Trump's people, rushed into the Capitol to do God knows what.
Yeah.
So he already had this bit of a honeymoon anyway, and everybody was nervous. It's like, it's Trump. I thought Trump was going to try to start a war before he left office. That was my fear.
Yeah.
But none of those things happened. It was like, sigh of relief. Trump is gone. And but they laid it on thick. They did not let up for a moment, and they're still doing it for him.
And then, can you talk about your censorship article? Censorship in the Biden era.
Yeah, I think I was writing about the Hunter Biden story and Twitter and.
Let's see. Oh yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. This was from November. It was so good. But you.
Okay, but I can talk about that.
Yes, and you talked about the Richard Stengel thing, which is very important too. I can. Let me pull up the article because it was from November.
Thank you.
It's really good. Okay, here we go. So.
Yep.
Yeah. So you talk about Hunter Biden, and then you bring up let's see, where is it? Yeah, this is pretty good. It's like, really, isn't it? It's kind of weird when you feel like you're defending Trump, but it's like, oddly, because the media is so bad and biased and was so against Trump for the wrong reasons and for him for the wrong reasons. Like Ronnie Kallick is like, the liberal media hates Trump unless he's bombing a country, then they love him.
Yep. Just a reminder about Hunter Biden, Biden's dumb son, who, I know people struggling with addiction, but he's also dumb. Let's just say that.
I feel bad. My heart goes out to him. But obviously I would rather.
But he gets, $50,000 a month?
Yeah, listen, it's like
the board of a Ukrainian gas company.
It's fun to kind of joke about how Hunter's fun and everything like that, but he really is a fucking scumbag. You know what I mean?
I thought you liked him. I thought we wanted people to get treated the way he did.
But I do think that I do listen. Yes, you want people to be treated the way he's treated that have addiction, but no, you don't want anyone who's related to anyone in politics to be treated the way he did and go get $50,000 a month.
Yes, right. I mean the addiction part. Yeah,
but then he was, so high or so dumb or whatever. He leaves his laptop in Delaware someplace. And unfortunately, Rudy Giuliani, of course, everything he touches turns to mush, and he couldn't even manage that. But Twitter censored the story. So the New York Post ran with the story that, and it was very interesting to me. Hunter Biden, the Biden campaign, nobody said, well, this was hacked or this isn't real. They really didn't say anything. But Twitter said, no, they could not let anybody link to the story, letting us know that they wanted Joe Biden to win. Instead of just reporting, allowing people, which is what social media platforms are supposed to do, letting everyone weigh in and give their 2 cents, they censored the story. Facebook did as well.
I got censored when I tweeted about it.
I honestly, and this came, long before Trump himself got banned on Twitter. I think that this individual thing, the blocking of the individual New York Post story about Hunter Biden, is so much more like frightening censorship than even when Trump got banned.
Absolutely, it is. And because they were clearly taking sides. And at that time, there was always, just report what Trump says.
Yeah.
So they would say, Trump said everything he says is a lie.
Right.
Well, do reporting, have analysis, have somebody say the president said X, but actually Y is true.
Right.
Instead of just telling us what to think about him. Just report the news. And that is what they have been doing basically all along, and it only accelerated after Election Day. So you can say, Rudy Giuliani was laughed out of every courtroom, every state legislature. Just report it. Just report what was said instead of the president said something that's not true. That's not journalism. That is not news. And that is why I find it troubling that Twitter banned him, because they are also, and those of us who are concerned about censorship of the left, which is far more prevalent, that they just decide that a certain government official can't be on Twitter or Facebook. Left-wing groups being kicked off without explanation, without recourse. I know a lot of people who were kicked off of Facebook, especially the last few weeks, and then inexplicably they would be allowed back on. When they never knew why they were kicked off in the first place.
Right.
So these platforms should be regulated. They should be treated as public utilities, because no one can live without anybody who wants to express themselves, sell something, market themselves, has to use social media. So I believe they're public utilities and they ought to be regulated as such. The idea of just giving these guys permission to do whatever they want to do is very, very dangerous.
Like, they're good guys. Like, Mark Zuckerberg is a good guy. Like, corporate overlords are good people. Also, this is really a really important point, which you say, oh, actually, Margaret, I have a question for you, because something that when I bring up what you were just saying about how the left is going to get, already is censored more, and this will make it even worse. Sometimes people are like, yeah, but that already happened, so who cares? Let them do it to the right. What's your response to that?
Well, they do it to the right. I think we're the real target, frankly. Yeah. So if they deplatform Alex Jones, who's a bozo, I'll use that word for him, and a clown, and people say, good. I don't care if Alex Jones has a platform. I don't care if Steve Bannon has a platform.
Right, yeah.
Let them speak. Let us speak. But they always pick someone who is not going to be defended. And so people will they're either glad Alex Jones is gone or they don't care.
Right.
But the next thing you know, somebody you do want to hear from gets kicked off. I remember when Twitter at one point, they took away Julian Assange's mother, took away her account. I knew they were about to snatch him because suddenly her account disappeared. They got orders from the top. They got orders from the state. There are Iranian news, Press TV Iran is still not back on YouTube. All those videos have been erased. Why can't people hear from the government of Iran if they want to? I can watch the BBC if I want to. U.S. corporate media is pretty much state-run media. I mean, let's be honest. So I believe we're always the real target. I don't think that the right are the target. I think it's us. And people get confused easily. They accuse you of defending Trump or defending fascists, or you're the real whatever, something stupid.
Yeah.
Instead of really thinking about what it means to be silenced like this, because if they don't let you on social media, you've been disappeared.
Right. It doesn't. Yeah. And I think that when people make the point, well, they're already doing it to the left, but it'll get worse. Like, it gets normalized and people lift their guards up, right? And they're like, oh, maybe this is a good thing because look, they're kicking off Alex Jones. So we like that. I'm going to bring in the next guest, but very quickly, I'm going to I'm going to play a video because I want make sure that people know that Lincoln Project, they got busted this weekend. One of their top guys turns out engaged in a lot of sexual harassment. I'm actually waiting for them to say, yeah, but he's gay, so actually it's an LGBTQ rights thing. That's what I'm waiting. That's the woke washing, by the way. Guys, spread the term. That's the woke washing I'm waiting for. So while I'm going to play this video, and then we're going to bring in Justin Jackson, and he's going to join our chat. But very quickly, going to play a video of a really great video by the Lincoln Project. And they are, of course, they are, of course, a neocon PAC, super PAC. Are they a super PAC, or are they just a bunch of terrible people. I think
a bunch of terrible
grifters.
Who,
They're grifters, yeah.
Yeah, who have tricked gullible liberals into giving them millions of dollars. That's
what they are, yeah. And you know,
the new neocon wing of the Democratic
Yes,
Party.
they're the neocon. Yes, and Steve Schmidt, who's like one of the grossest people, who's like, trust me, like it's easier for a sociopath to win than a socialist. He said that. And then there's Conway, right? What's his name? George Conway.
Yeah. The child abuser.
Yes.
The child abuser.
Yeah. And then who else is in there? Rick Wilson, who's like one of the worst. Who asked Ann Coulter if she charged more for anal or something with Donald Trump, and calls Bernie like an old socialist. I'm like, sorry, Bernie could run around, like run circles around you, both intellectually, politically, but also physically, because the guy. I'm just saying, don't bring up age when you just look like you live underground. I don't know what you look like. Anyway, he's terrible. Actually, the Colbert Report did a great thing on him with Tune the News. Is that what it's called?
Oh, the Tune the News thing was
really good.
It
was really good. And they called out, they're like, wait, but we don't get it. You're a racist. So like Bush's racism is good, but Trump's racism is bad. So I'm going to play that video, and then we're going to bring in our next guest. Okay, and I'm going to hold on one second. Let me just make this. I want to go off screen for a second.
Cool. Yeah, I'll be right back too.
Okay, great. Hold on one second. Can you... Well, let me just try this.
So, the Trump campaign wants to talk about China. Let's do it.
On the day President Trump signed his new Buy American, Hire American executive order, there are new questions involving his daughter's business and China.
And the identities of the Chinese companies Ivanka Trump's brand does business with have become more secretive than ever.
The Chinese government has given a preliminary green light to Ivanka Trump's company for 5 more trademarks.
Ivanka Trump is not commenting after China issued new trademarks for her fashion brand.
The Associated Press reports the Chinese government granted her company 3 new trademarks on April 6th. Hours later, she dined with the Chinese president at her father's Mar-a-Lago resort.
Why would China do this? Because they know Ivanka is just like her father, for sale.
Late last night, I had a very good talk with President Xi, and we talked mostly about the coronavirus. They're working really hard, and I think they're doing a very professional job.
Trump 2020, making China great again. Paid for by the Lincoln Project, who is responsible for the content of this advertisement.
You know what's funniest about that? He was telling the truth about China. They did do a good job.
I know.
With COVID, but anyway.
Yeah, I mean, and the other thing is like I'm always like the big liberal brain rot is like Trump is an existential threat, Cheeto Mussolini, with dementia, and we would like him to be more belligerent with other countries. Like, just pick a narrative, guys. Anyway, so speaking of belligerents on the field, how you like that? We're going to bring in Justin Jackson, who is an LA Chargers running back and also a big activist. He's become a real activist and a big force the vote activist. So welcome to the stream, Justin Jackson. Welcome back to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, Katie.
Of course. Did I ask you if you could record your own audio?
Yeah, I think we're all good.
Awesome. Okay. Welcome to the show. This is Jack. I don't think you've been on Overlapped yet.
How's it going, Jack?
Yeah, I can see it.
And Margaret.
How you doing?
I know you guys follow each other.
Yeah, we follow each other on Twitter, so preliminarily know each other.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on Biden and how excited? How over is racism? Is it like 100% over, or is it like 90% over?
It's fully over. You know, the crime bill guy's in office. The one who said you ain't black if you don't vote for him.
Yeah. Right.
Racism, I mean, it's definitely over.
Yes. It's like one thing you can be like, okay, he was wrong. I mean, it's totally not it's not convincing, but like you can make the argument like that was a long time ago. It's like, no, telling people they're not black if they don't vote for you.
I wonder. I wonder if the counter statement is also true. If he's saying you're not black if you don't vote for Biden, does that mean if you did, you are black?
Right.
Is this mean that now every Biden voter gets to be black? I didn't vote for him, so I'm still a fucking white guy, of course. But
I didn't either.
It's funny that y'all were on Twitter today that the Biden lied was trending, and all I could think about was the Nelson Mandela lie.
Oh yes,
and the civil rights marching in the civil rights movement lie.
Yeah.
Like, two huge lies, but you ain't black if you don't vote for him.
I think he said that when I have a feeling they were working on a drug cocktail for him all year long, and I think they hadn't quite gotten it right.
Right, they didn't get it right.
I think they did finally figure out the right level of amphetamines to get him on, at least to get him through the inauguration and then let him sleep for a full week.
I agree. I think that's it. Whenever he doesn't talk, whenever he's not making an appearance, he's sleeping. And then they pump him up with a lot of substance. Yeah.
The funniest thing about Biden is that when he acts like he really won the primary and that he really won this election as if he wasn't not campaigning the entire time. He's like, I am the Democratic Party. Like, I beat the socialists.
I beat the socialists. Yeah.
God.
You get a cakewalk to that nomination.
No, Obama did that. I think that was all his hand.
Right.
Yeah. Obama made a couple phone calls. That really is what it is. He made a couple phone calls in March.
Obama leaves his mansion to get Keith Ellison knocked out, DNC chair, to tell the NBA not to strike.
Yeah, those are the big moves since he's
go
been
windsurfing with what's his name, Richard Branson.
Yeah,
and then knock Bernie out of the primary.
Well, he's made a couple Netflix shows too.
He's
producing Netflix TV shows.
The speeches on Wall Street.
Yeah.
Did that too. Yeah.
Well, they bought a big house. That's what they do after they leave off.
Mm-hmm. The house, by the way, is kind of sucky. I've seen the house and I'm like, it's just the backyard. There's no plants. It's just nothing but grass. I'm like, I guess rich people just always put up a bunch of tents and stuff like that for dinners. But I'm like, why don't you have any plants in the backyard?
I think it's probably security. It's probably
so that they can see anybody coming. Yeah.
Whatever. But yeah, he's doing what actually he's been the most active former president. I don't think George W. Bush was.
He was painting.
That bad. Oh my God! You're just speaking of propaganda. You're bringing that horror back to me. But he's very much still the leader of the Democratic Party.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's true.
Biden is president because he picked him.
Right. He was a great. As Biden said about Obama, he was a clean, articulate African American guy.
Oh man.
I love the way I was hearing some people in the media. They were like, well, he always defended, Biden always defended Barack Obama. It's like he was his vice president.
I know.
That's not that doesn't show character.
How brave.
He needed, that was his boss. It was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. As opposed to all the obstructionist vice presidents we have had throughout history.
The devil's advocates who were like, I like you, Barack, but I'm going to push back a little bit. Yeah. Yeah,
very funny.
Yeah. So what is the most frustrating thing, I guess, Justin, for you now? And talk about your. I asked you about this before, and you've done a bunch of shows. But if you could just give a summary of your political radicalization.
Mostly I'd say 2016 was the first time I could vote. I was 20. I was still in college. I had a pretty elite liberal, university, so. Politics, Northwestern. So it was, you had that feeling that it was an election, and especially with Trump being the candidate, being at that university, it was talked about a lot. And that's when I kind of first started. I guess I was like, okay, I definitely don't want Trump, obviously because of everything he's Trump. But I was like, I don't really know the other candidate. I grew up in a, liberal household, but we never talked about politics. So that's kind of when I started doing more research, and I started on cable news, and I quickly learned that they weren't talking about anything, and I couldn't really use anything they were saying to try and convince people to not vote for Trump. So that's when I started going into progressive media, and that's pretty much where I got my start. But
sorry, keep going. No,
I was gonna say the most frustrating thing so far for me has been just seeing all the apologists, right, for not getting the checks immediately, the checks being lower. It's there's always an excuse, and I'm like, this is going to be the next 4 years. There's going to be an excuse for everything. They're not going to get anything done, and there's going to be there's a funny chart going around on Twitter where it's what stage you're at, And right now we're in the first 10 days. Inauguration just happened. He hasn't been there that long. And pretty soon we're going to be in the midterms are coming up. You can't criticize the Democrats. It's like it's going to be the meme.
It's going to be this is the most important election of all time. If you want that $1,400, you need to vote for us in the midterms. If you want the $1,400, Mitch McConnell's trying to stop you from getting it. This is the most important election ever.
Yeah. And so, I mean, were you guys surprised about the $1,400 and the tweet, and or is that on brand?
It's on brand. I was not surprised. It was I was like, wow, the lies start really quickly.
I'm surprised at the brazenness. I am.
That's what people should remember. Right. That the brazenness, the openness of it. It's like, oh, did we say 2,000? No, we meant 600 plus 1,400.
Right.
Equal 2,000. And I know you're not getting it until April. If people don't remember anything else, you have to remember that he just right out of the box. He started with the neoliberalism, the austerity, the determination to keep people living as precariously as possible.
Yeah.
I think I was just I haven't been around the block, enough to really expect this, because I was like, okay, they're gonna pass the 2,000, and they're probably not gonna do anything else. But it's super popular. They promised it. They're gonna do it. I was even telling people yeah, they're probably gonna pass it. Now, I know better. Yeah. I know better now.
We can't forget who's the one who first raised the number 2,000. It was Trump.
Donald Trump. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And everybody that was actually one of the most embarrassing weekends I've ever seen the Democrats, is when Trump said 2,000. They're all like, yeah, we agree. I mean, truly, what an absolutely pathetic party.
Yeah, they really, they let themselves be outflanked really on the left by Trump. It's really pathetic. So Lee Levin asks, please ask Justin if he was at Northwestern during the union campaign.
I actually was not. I missed it by literally months. I came in 5 or 6 months after that all went down. So I did miss that.
And then Egg64 says Obama's American Factory on Netflix details a Chinese billionaire opening a factory in Ohio as a feel-good story, as if TPP never rolled off his lips.
Right.
The grossest thing Obama ever, one of the top 20 grossest things he ever did was when he went on Jimmy Fallon and did Slow Jam the news?
Yeah, the news? Yeah, Slow Jam the news.
To TPP. He shilled for TPP. He pushed TPP. And even at one point, it was work. He used that in his Slow Jam about
the
TPP.
Rihanna song?
Yeah,
right.
Because he was talking about how he was going to give people jobs and work. And who's down with TPP? Yeah, you know me. It was so gross.
My God.
Yeah.
It was TPP. That was one where members of Congress weren't allowed to read the legislation.
Yeah, right.
They had to go to a secret room and they couldn't carry it around with them.
Yeah, it's so gross. And people would say oh, Trump is the same. Bernie's the same as Trump because look, they're both against TPP. And I was like, you really don't understand how politics work. People dislike things for very different reasons, and that's just embarrassing for Hillary Clinton, not actually for Bernie Sanders. No. Yeah. And so, what has it been like? Have you alienated people from your? I don't mean that sounds so accusatory. What's it been like? Because Justin, you came out as very pro force the vote, and Phil points out the Roots had a hand in that. That's true. They were the ones who did the
watching any of Obama with the Roots. The Roots. What a sad state of affairs. What a sad state it is.
Yeah. What was that like? Kind of taking a position that was very, it was very polarizing, right? And I say this as someone who had you on the show, had Jimmy on the show, Brianna Joy Gray, co-hosted the Force the Vote town hall. And I keep getting shit about it. And it's honestly, I felt like I had to, Jack and I talked about this. I wasn't always happy with the way some of the Force the Vote discussion went, but I also don't think that being pro Force the Vote should be make you a pariah.
It turned very toxic. Obviously, everyone could see that. But when I kind of got involved with it, the reason I did was I saw a lot of energy behind it. I saw Jimmy was pushing it, but then I saw Sam Cedar come out for it, and I was like, whoa, they hate each other. So, wow, we're actually,
good idea. Yeah.
we're putting our beefs aside. TYT came out for it. So I was like, oh my, this is getting some push. Like, we can actually come together on this and get a floor vote. Like, we actually have a leverage point. And then it turned so toxic, and it was just really sad to see that. Even with Brianna Joy Gray's interview with Sam Cedar, it's like, I love debates, like debating strategy, debating tactics, and it always comes back to Jimmy Dore, like every single time. It's just so frustrating to me because, like, are we really going to be putting people, like singular people, one person in this entire country over a strategy, right? Like, that's what it felt like to me, and that's really frustrating because at the end of the day, who cares who one person or your personal beef with someone else? Like, we're trying to get healthcare for people, you know what I mean? And so that was pretty upsetting for me.
Yeah. And I assume that it made some people like galvanize some support for you, but also the opposite, right? It was.
Oh yeah. And I'm sure. And honestly, I don't really care about that. I don't, because I'm just over here like fighting for what I believe is true and right. And whether someone likes me for that or not, I honestly could care less. I really can.
Speaking of which, do you feel any pressure, either of you, to prove that you're Black by supporting Biden?
I'm over it. Well, I'm older than Justin, much older, and I went through this with Obama, and it was horrible, actually. To be Black and not an Obama fan. It was quite terrible, and people don't understand. And it's there aren't many people who really pay attention to politics, who really pay attention to the news, and basically they know the surface. Okay, it's a Democrat, that's good. It's the first Black president, and unless you had reached that level of political awareness, people were just going to go along with. Talk about propaganda. Do you remember he was inaugurated on King's birthday? Do you remember that? It was horrible. It was just like equating this man with a president of the United States, the leader of the empire, with this man who was killed by the empire, who died because he fought for the people. So yeah, there's that pressure group, but my point is, I'm over it. Having gone through that, nobody can try to intimidate me into supporting someone who said of the crime bill, what did he say? We do everything but hang you for jaywalking or something like that.
Fuck.
So
I don't think I knew that part.
Yeah, and he would let you know he supported every single crime bill.
Right. Every major minor crime bill has the name of the senator from Delaware on it. Yep. He also lied about the man who killed his wife twice, at least. His it's tragic. His wife was like in a car crash, but she did not like victim, but she did the thing that like caused the crash. She pulled out of I don't know the details of it, but it wasn't it wasn't the fault of the guy who ran into her car. And Biden would say like this is a guy who liked to drink his lunch instead of eat it. And he said that twice. And the daughter of the guy was like, he never had any evidence of that. No one they investigated that. He was never brought up on that. And it was very upsetting for this guy.
He's probably the most notorious liar in the government right now. You know what I mean? Like, of course you get to be the president if that's the case.
Well, that was one of the things that was so upsetting about the Tara Reade thing, is that like everyone was calling her a liar and questioning her credibility. It's like, that Biden has told a lot of lies. Like, I guess Tara Reade should have run for president instead of accusing Biden of sexual assault.
Well, they would cover up her lies. That's for
right. That's what would have happened. Yeah.
Sure. But speaking of propaganda, the fact that Biden is president at all.
Yeah.
Talk about censorship and propaganda. I mean, his very presence in the office is the proof of that, and proof of this. That people get upset. You can't say America has an oligarchy. Yeah, we do.
Right.
And his presence is proof of all those things.
Yeah. Nguyen Jap says, when did Justin watch his first Jimmy Dore show?
It was probably on actually when I was watching TYT mostly, and he was the host of Progressives.
Right.
And he would be on the main show sometimes. That's when I think I first heard of Jimmy.
Yeah. Okay, I got to read this. You really should pay more money for this chat, Corey Foster. Can I demand more money for a chat? Come on, Corey. Give me $5 more. $5 more? Can I do that, or is that terrible? This is going to cause a lot of beef, so give me some more.
Oh boy.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Yeah. Let's see. I'll read it. I'll have this guy on actually with you. All right, Corey. Justin, thank you for dunking hard on Ryan Grimm. Katie, please read this. Pay me more money. I got to say, Ryan Grimm and David Sirota are two people. I'm just going to say this now. I don't care if people stop watching the stream. It's unfortunate, but I like both of them. I respect both of the work that they both do. And I also think that, dunking is fine and good. And I don't remember what this was about. I think it was about like a football analogy.
Yeah, well, I didn't agree, and it's not dunking. Like, I mean, I get it. For me, it's a disagreement. I disagree with him, so I'm going to respond. You know what I mean? And he's going to continue to, do good reporting, and I'll continue to read it. So, I mean, it's not. There's no really.
Hey, listen. Whether you like or don't like Ryan Grimm, we can all agree it was arrogant to make a football analogy. That was probably not the smartest.
That was bad. Yeah. Hopefully, next time. But if it was a journalism, joke or reference, I would have stayed out.
Right.
Because I don't know much.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. We'll have Ryan on with you. I want to have a.
Let's do it.
Yeah, and this is I mean, Sirota and Grimm are okay, but wrong on Force the Vote. That's fine. I mean, I think that's totally.
Yeah, Sirota really wasn't, and Sirota's argument against it really wasn't an argument against it. I think he was more so pushing for more ads.
He was
or more substantive ads.
Yes, and he was ending it, I believe. Yeah,
he was like, we should do more.
Yeah. And what? Hold on one second. Sorry, I'm just looking at more. What do you? How much of your focus, both of you, I guess, is on foreign policy versus domestic? Like, how do you balance those things and decide what to focus on?
I'm very much interested in foreign policy, and it's an area that gets to be ignored. And unfortunately, a lot of people on the left, like with Bernie, he would say all of the stick with the imperialist narrative of the U.S., Russiagate and so forth, and Venezuela, Chavez was a dead dictator and so on. But there are very serious connections between foreign policy and domestic policy. I mean, the fact that military spending is 60% of the discretionary budget, it's literally why we can't have nice things. Mm-hmm. How do you talk about the need for infrastructure, healthcare, education, you name it, anything we don't have that we ought to have? It's the elephant in the room. How do you not talk about the $740 billion budget, the 800 military bases, the environment? The U.S. military is the world's biggest polluter. And you're not going to have a different society at home. You're not going to have injustice around the world and then have justice at home. It's not going to work that way. You're either going to have it everywhere or nowhere. And I'm not trying to, quote Dr. King, but I just mean that quite literally. You can't have police have U.S. soldiers allowed to kill people, Obama claiming the right to kill anybody he wanted, and then have justice with policing in this country. It's not going to happen.
Right. And you wrote about the storming of the Capitol, and you mentioned how it was the kind of the chickens coming home to roost.
It's what the U.S. does all over the world.
Yeah.
That the U.S. can decide that Venezuela's election was fake. And so we have to starve people into submission in Venezuela. Or Ukraine. Does anybody ever point out the president of Ukraine was elected and the U.S. sided with people who are actual Nazis to get rid of him? So many countries, that Cuba, how does the United States decide that Cuba gets to be economically strangled for 60 years and to put people in office and take people out of office? This is basic. This is what the U.S. does all the time. So this, whatever it is you want to call it, insurrection, coup attempt, whatever, it's what the U.S. does successfully all over the world.
Yeah, the only thing that's different about this coup attempt is that it wasn't a foreign government running it. You know what I mean? Like they didn't really get like assistance. Although to be honest with you, it was there were people that knew about it in the intelligence agencies. So maybe it is similar to all the other coup attempts. To be honest with you,
right? Yeah,
that Proud Boys leader guy was like a big time FBI informant, and I'm like, I read that article, and I was like, okay, like informant. I'm like, he knows all these people at the FBI. I'm like, the Proud Boys is like FBI affiliated, if you ask my opinion on that particular article.
Yeah,
I haven't read that. I have to read that.
It was. I was not surprised. They kept talking about, well, the leader of the Proud Boys is an Afro-Latino, so they're not racist.
Yeah. All of a sudden, he's an FBI asset.
Yeah, but they, they have a lot of assets.
Yeah, that was
For me, it's a big thing. It really is, and I think it's the thing that frustrates me the most is that in America, it seems like we live in such a bubble that we have no earthly clue what we're doing. Like, I bet you if you polled a majority of Americans, they would have no idea, one, what countries were bombing. They wouldn't even be able to point those countries out on that.
Right.
And that's what's so horrifying about it. And like I said, like Margaret said, I think it does affect, our domestic policy. And the thing that has been most frustrating for me about the progressives in Congress is they really are completely in lockstep with the leadership of the party on Venezuela, on a lot of these foreign policy issues that they should be, up on. They should be fighting, for leftist ideas on that. But in reality, they're just neoliberals on foreign policy at the end of the day, which is super unfortunate.
It's been a long time since there were any real lefties in Congress. I mean, I'm old enough to remember there were always like a couple real lefties in Congress who would speak out against U.S. foreign policy. Apparently, that's not going to happen anymore. They all just march in lockstep. There was a point when members of Congress broke on the issue of Vietnam or spoke out against the first invasion of Iraq, and now no one. Well, they've gotten rid of them, so everybody got the message.
Right, yeah. I mean, obviously everyone knows I'm a huge Bernie fan, but I'm very disappointed in his, standing the 1400 thing. I do think that there's a difference between Bernie Sanders and some of the squad. Like, I don't like that if Rania Khalek tweets something that AOC retweets, then AOC unretweets it. Like, that's not okay, and that shows a real lack of spine, honestly, because all you have are these CIA cutout people swarming on any politician who dares to retweet someone like Rania or Max. It's so ridiculous. It's so embarrassing. But I do think that there's a difference. I think that there's a difference between, especially on something like sanctions. I don't not have belief that they could be pushed to do the right thing, the way I do have a disbelief about other Dems. I think Sanders has moved up to the left a lot on the Israeli-Palestinian stuff. And again, I'm saying this and Ilhan Omar is really good on some things. When she went after Elliot Abrams.
It's like piecemeal.
Not Elliot Abrams.
Yes,
Sorry, what's his name?
I think it's Elliot Abrams. Yeah.
Elliot Abrams was also the guy. Who's the guy who White Hawk Down? The hawk who was beat by I call him White Hawk Down when he lost to Jamal Bowman.
Engel?
Yes,
Engel.
right. Elliot Engels, right? Okay, yeah, Elliot Engels, Elliot Abrams. Guys, I can say that. I can confuse those two. Yeah. But I do think I think we can, because I actually really think that with imperialism, there's such a concrete difference. There's such a ripple effect. And again, no one is where they should be. But I guess I think that some squad people, Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, and I think, didn't Cori Bush come out for BDS? So I think she did, or she said something that, but I guess on that, I really do feel as much as I'm tempted to be oh, all these people are neoliberals, and they are in many ways, I do think that there's the potential to move them on certain things.
I think it might be there. I think that's the area where they most get swept up in the media swarm. They're very afraid for the media to be against them on foreign policy. Yep. So if they're not super knowledgeable about that, they're like AOC said, they're going to defer to leadership.
Sure, right. Which you can't do in this case, yeah.
Right, which in this case is not, you can't do that.
Right.
But
Yeah.
that's on us. Is I think
I know
all this talk of moving people left, we have to make the effort. And as I was saying earlier, be as determined to take public stances as people on the right are. Because I think on the issue of sanctions, for example, I don't know that most Americans know that 50,000 Venezuelans have been killed by sanctions, that people in Iran and Syria can't get medicine. I don't think people know
they don't
that.
think of it as violent.
And I don't know how much attention members of Congress pay.
Right.
So that's where the movement needs to take action.
Yeah, that's a really interesting and important point, because I think that like I hate the mainstream media more than like most. I mean, I in fact, we didn't look at any clips, Jack, today. We were derelict.
Oh, wow.
But like, we'll try to find some. But like, I mean, and again, as someone who loves Bernie, not uncritically, but he was such a symbol of the media bias, because it was just the contempt for him, saying on MSNBC, he makes my skin crawl. You know, saying he had can you just imagine for a second if Bernie, well, he's Jewish, and he's pro-choice, so neither of these would happen. But like when Jen Psaki gets asked about Biden's position on the Hyde Amendment, and her answer is he's a devout Catholic. Like, where are the people talking about his gender problem, his abortion problem, his social issues problem? I guess, to be fair, Biden's so bad on everything, it doesn't stand out. Whereas with Bernie, they lied and had to pretend he had a gender issue because he was so obviously good on economic stuff.
Obviously, Biden doesn't threaten capital. That's like all it is. Like, Biden doesn't threaten capital, and also doesn't make these people feel like he either threatens capital and then also makes these people feel guilty for selling out as hard as they did. You know what I mean? Like, Bernie makes mainstream media people feel like liberals feel like shit because he's a senator who never was like, oh, we have to, we have to go move the line back and everything like that. Like either they just want to protect capital or they're like feeling guilty that they sold out. And Bernie reminds them of that.
Right.
Biden's easy. Biden's easy to like if you're in the media.
Right.
Sure. Well, they know who their bosses. Everybody does what their bosses want them to.
Yeah.
And they know what their bosses want them to say. So Biden good, Bernie bad.
Right.
And frankly, also like whether or not they know what their bosses want them to say, the bosses are the ones that hire people. You know what I mean?
Yes,
so they're only hiring
at that
people
level.
who like them. You know what I mean? It all filters both ways. You know.
Yeah. And the fact that there are fewer and fewer jobs in media, I think, leads to more and more craven behavior.
Yeah, I agree.
Like you've gotten the brass ring if you're actually being paid and employed.
Right.
And you think of yourself as on the inside versus everyone else on the outside.
Yes.
And if you're in televised media, you're really making a lot of money, and you're in New York and
you can
a building where you get to have a key card that gets you in the elevator, and you're so far away from all the hoi polloi.
Right. And you can, I think, delude yourself into thinking like, I'm a progressive, I have my foot in the door, I'm going to like make sure that I'm going to bring that perspective, but you can't. Natalia Viana, who's a Brazilian journalist who was the first person to have access to WikiLeaks, the Brazilian WikiLeaks, she was saying how Julian Assange, for instance, because I think people don't get that censorship is often not like red pen censorship, and it's often self-censorship, and it's often like a natural selection, like on the level of hires. But she was saying that, because Max Blumenthal reported on how these journalists were spied on, like when they went to visit Assange, when they reported on Assange, and not most of them, like Stefania Maurizi did, but most of them didn't sue or didn't care or didn't even mention it. Like the Washington Post person, a big foreign policy person, national security person, didn't mention it. And I asked Natalia why she thought that was, and she was saying that like because he's a threat to the gatekeepers, like WikiLeaks as a project is a threat to the gatekeepers. So journalists, like, they don't have to be told that their bosses don't want this to be covered or for him to be. I mean, that is just a disgusting thing that Julian Assange.
It's also just becomes a social thing. Like, listen, I worked in not in news media, but I was working in like network television during the 2016 election, and that's one of the big reasons why I had to quit that year, was seeing how white rich liberals acted in the 2016 election. Like, it's a cultural thing. You know what I mean? Like, it becomes a cultural thing, and it's almost hard to like understand, the difference, like the different culture of the white and wealthy in America. But they really do feel like they're good people because they make donations.
Well, you touched on something else. journalism is now a profession of the elite. So all these people went to the best expensive schools. They get these jobs because of who their parents are. They do not represent a cross section of the country. So, and these politicians are their friends and their parents' friends. And
they went to school together. Or
exactly. So it's difficult to expect them to act otherwise.
Right.
And I'd say since 2016, it's really turned into just entertainment news.
Yeah.
And I don't think it'll ever go back.
But Fox is at least entertaining.
Which put Trump into office. I don't think we can repeat enough. They gave him, $4 billion in free advertising. They didn't think he was going to win.
Right.
But they gave it to him. What did Les Moonves says? I don't know.
Good for ratings,
I don't know if it's good for America, but he's good for CBS.
Trump called Jeff Zucker his personal booker during the 2016 election.
Too,
That's the president of CNN.
Yep.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. And I think that what you said before, Margaret, where it's on us, that's something that's hard to grapple with, but we kind of do. And it's really not fun. It's not fun to take a look at what do we have to do? But we do because that is how it's going to happen. It's if we, I often feel like there's a tension because the same people who get that politicians don't respond to anything but political pain, we also understandably don't want to particularly look at what we're failing to do. Because the people with the blood on their hands are not us, but we actually, if we care about the blood on their hands, we do have to push and we have to rally. And there is a real issue of courage. Not to sound corny, but there is courage. We need to not be afraid of. I constantly bring up Rania and Max just because they're people who. I know a lot of people don't want to elevate or platform their work, and they don't have any real reasons for it. It's because they're toxic, they're problematic, guilt by association, they're a sadist, they're that. And what they wind up doing and not platforming them, i.e. freezing them out or not focusing on their work, is they're just doing the work of empire. That's literally what they're doing. Because these are, and you also are one of the few voices, you, Margaret, Lee Camp.
And this is where the propaganda works. Right. All you do is, first of all, you just cut people out.
Yeah.
So Max and Aaron Mate, they tell us that there are whistleblowers at the OPCW who say Syria did gas these people, but you don't see it anywhere unless you know who to follow. You have no idea that this is true, and Wikipedia censors them.
Yeah.
So even if somebody is interested in following up on their reporting, they don't want to be punished also.
Exactly, right. Which is why why I've said this before, but I used to get this visceral feeling. I can feel it when I feel a peer pressure to not have someone on the show, not share someone's article. And I just have to reject it and check myself because it is pressure and it is an amorphous thing and you're not totally aware of it. But I have a physical feeling about it. And the more, it's the same, it's like unions. It's the power in numbers. The more people refuse to throw other people under the bus, or the more people elevate certain things and certain people, the less fringe it becomes and the less scary it becomes. And what I think we see so much is that a few people are willing to say something or write something or talk about something. And because they are smeared, Matt Taibbi calls it the ick factor, right? Because they're smeared, other people don't want to go there. And then it's this cycle of it becomes very few people are going there. So then you think it really is a radical fringe position when it's not. It is not radical to say that there were, you brought this up, Margaret, that there was basically WMD's cover-up scandal with Syria. And that Aaron Mate was asked and allowed to speak at the UN. This is not some chemtrails type of thing. He addressed the UN about this, and there were whistleblowers who talked about this. And don't people remember the Iraq stuff? How much of a parallel do you need? I don't care what you think about Assad. I don't care what you think about Saddam Hussein. The question is what should we be doing there? And should we be critical and skeptical of things about weapons that may not be true? It's just sorry. get really angry about it. But yeah. Well, Margaret, I know you have to leave soon.
I do.
But thank you so much for staying up with us. This was so
Thanks,
great.
very nice. It was good to see you both again.
Yes.
Nice to
see you,
meet you in quotes, Justin.
Yeah, nice to meet you. off of online.
Yeah. Okay, but thanks again, Margaret. And come back again.
All right.
Bye.
I will.
Bye, Margaret.
Bye.
Yeah. She's so funny, by the way. We didn't get to you could tell a little bit from this chat, but everyone has to follow her on Twitter. What is it? It's Freedom Rider. Is it just spelled out Freedom Rider, right? She's brutal.
Freedom Ride blog.
Freedom Ride blog. Freedom Ride blog. You and Leslie are like the two really, you don't seem as brutal in a good way. Like, you're both very smiley, Leslie Lee and you. And then it's just forget it. It's like scorched earth on Twitter. It's so funny. They're both hilarious. So anyway, you're in good company.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks. Alrighty. So Justin, some questions for you.
Okay.
Alrighty. Thomas, what is CA? Is that what currency is that?
Canadian.
Oh, great. Wow. Thank you. Q4JJ on second down with you in the, do you want to read this? Cause I don't know what some of these things.
You in the back, sure. During the Super Bowl, factor in time on the clock. The defense is in nickel. One line back in the box. Do you quarterback sneak, run the ball with play action, throw to corners of the end zone, or fire over the middle? Thank you. Second down, defense is in the nickel with one line back in the box. I mean, I think it depends on the down and distance. It does depend on the time on the clock. You didn't give me any of that information. So, I mean, I'm always going to say run the ball. I mean, if it's second and short, you could do a play action, which might throw the defense off. But I'm always a run the ball, especially if it's too high. So I'm a running back, so hand me the ball and let's do it.
That's what I thought you were going to say.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'd do it slightly differently, but I guess you do you.
Yeah. We got to get Ryan Grimm on. Just kidding, Ryan. I love you. But let's see. What else do we got? So thank you, Thomas, for that. Murphy. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Murphy. I just put Margaret's handle in there. Lumpia Logic, thank you for the super sticker.
Wow, look at that.
Look at that. We got some tweets to look into. We got to turn into that. But first of all, I want to go. Brad has given us some really great links. Also, we should probably watch Biden defending his position on busing, because that's really good. And I feel like not enough people know about that because, and sorry, I don't know why I didn't think of CA as Canadian. That was really embarrassing. But okay, here is
we don't have our own currency in California just yet. Just so
that's
what
I was.
Not yet.
Yeah. So
Katie, I'm sorry, but I also have to run.
Okay, I have to get your out times.
Make some dinner and everything.
Well, can we just really quickly look at the Twitter responses?
Yeah,
okay.
Let's do it.
All right. Let's see. Okay, because we got to go back and see the results. Okay, stop screen. I didn't know I was sharing. Share screen. Chrome. Okay, so we got some results on who is the worst liberal. Let's see.
Oh wow.
Who is the worst liberal governor?
Well, see, I think you have a real New York bias in your Twitter following. That's what I think. That's
probably true. Can you guys see the results? Am I showing them?
Yes.
Okay. So we got 73.6% say Cuomo, 26.4% say Newsom.
Newsom's catching up, though. We'll see.
He's catching up, yeah. Metrics would be helpful here. If it's just which gov does media take a dimmer view of, there probably isn't much difference. This is actually really hard. Holy shit. I want to say Newsom just because the authoritarianism, I guess. Like, Cuomo was a terrible fucking leader, but at least he doesn't have literal fun police, and he hasn't straight up threatened people's utilities. The answer is obvious, but I would have picked C, all of the above, had the choice been available. Gavin started out with great image and did some good things for CA, but that goodwill has been undercut by the West Coast Trudeau vibes. This is true. Why choose one scumbag? That's true. I choose both. Self-service, narcissistic, billionaire pandering, PNC bootlicking idiots. You cannot choose one. Yeah, Lori Lightfoot. But Lori Lightfoot, is she a governor or a mayor?
Well, she's a mayor.
Mayor, Chicago mayor. Yeah, she's pretty, bad. Gavin, only because we expect it. Right, there's the expectation gap.
Right.
Equally horrible. Newsom at least gave money to undocumented folks as part of COVID relief. Swarthy? Not sure what that means.
Like kind of, I don't actually want to say,
Yeah, that's why I was. No, that's not an okay thing, Uncle Bob. That racist Uncle Bob. All right, Gavin Newsom, because he's closer to me. I see you are sticking to the us and them divisive propaganda. That's so 2020.
Okay.
Is that serious?
I think that might be a joke.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the one that killed a bunch. Yeah, hopefully, right? I'm gonna go with the one that killed a bunch of people, then put out a campaign.
See, here's the thing, Katie. We have to do this. We have to do this survey again in a year. Because right now we're just really getting to our, death ship here in California. Right. Things are really starting to get grim now that he's reopened everything. Yeah,
it's true. Yeah,
I don't know if you've seen around. Have you been around LA at all, Justin, and seen just how crowded all the restaurants and everything are now that it's been reopened?
Oh, I haven't seen since he reopened it. I haven't seen it, but
it's pretty wild. I was over there at Silver Lake and Los Feliz. It's just packed.
Are the insides?
No, sitting outside, but it's still outside. Like everyone's just so close to each other. There's
no as many tables as they can.
Yeah.
I'm just putting a pillow behind my back, by the way. Sorry about that. A little awkward nudge. Yeah. Okay. And then I guess we can review. Okay. So the results are in. We'll check again. I'm the first to critique Newsom for being a neoliberal, but Cuomo's a socialist.
I like that answer.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good, actually.
That's really good.
That's pretty good. Ty. Yeah, we'll have to get some. In fact, what I should do is have people on. I should have one representative from each state, tell me why they're worse.
Well, we should get Newsom and Cuomo on to debate who's the worst. Who's worse?
I would love that. Yeah, I would love that. And then let's see if there are any great responses to let's see
if Trump tweeted like Biden. Yes. Or if Biden tweeted like Trump.
If Biden tweeted like Trump. All right. So you weren't here for this, Justin, but if Biden tweeted like Trump, so we decided to just take his tweets that are awful and describe awful things and do them like Trump.
Like a translator almost.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. So it'll help liberals understand why it's bad if you write it with capital letters and stuff.
Yeah. So this is what Biden said. The sooner that we get our kids and educators back in the classroom, the sooner parents can get back to work. But we need the funding to do it. My American Rescue Plan will deliver much needed support to our nation's schools to help them reopen and operate safely. And as Jack pointed out earlier, he cites a study, right, by the CDC.
There's a CDC study that they cite pretty often about how it might be safe to open schools again. But that CDC study also says it's safe to open them if everything else is closed. If we keep all the restaurants and malls closed, which we're not going to do.
So let's see. So we tweeted, America has the greatest, most beautiful and healthy kids in the world, and they're bored at home. Get them to school so American parents who are the best and brightest can get back to work. Corrupt Congress must pass the American Rescue Plan USA. So then we asked people to put their own in.
Yeah, let's see.
The thing is the best rescue plan in the history of this country, but the elite media won't tell you. Forget the malarkey, pass the plan.
See, that's like if Biden was allowed to tweet for himself, which I would prefer. You know what I mean?
I agree. But he wouldn't say the elite media, but he would do, but yes.
He would say, forget the malarkey.
Yeah, yes, exactly. From the standpoint of kids, what's that? Corrupt Congress is keeping the beautiful American children bored at home, destroying the greatest economy ever built. Terrible. This is good. This is good. They must pass my rescue plan to keep America great. They say it's the greatest plan. Sad. That's so good. I gotta follow that person too. That's really good. Let me follow that person. So good. The sad. Yeah. Despite the constant fawning, press cafefe.
Constant fawning. That's funny.
Donald Trumpton.
Donald Trumpton.
Donald Trumpton, yeah. Donald Trumpton. I was there when this idea was born. Tip, channel your inner Yoda, tweet like Trump. It works, trust me.
It's true. He does do some weird sentence constructions. He really does.
Yeah, he does. That's a good one. No charisma Mitch, who still isn't ready for primetime, stands in the way of our great patriot teachers and kids. Go big and fast. That's good too. This is huge. This might be an actual tweet he made.
Yeah, it's for real.
Where's my money? Biden lied. Yeah.
It's so funny the reaction to the Biden lied thing because you're
right. Is
this
real or not real? By the way,
is this just like a bot one?
Like, is he saying that to us, or is he tweeting like, we don't need any more damn funding? The states have billions that they haven't even spent yet. The science is clear. The data is evident. Kids need to be in class now. No more money to bribe unions to do their
whatever
damn
you
jobs.
say, Tom F.
Yeah, Tom
whatever
F.
Whatever you say, Tom
That's
F.
like, what's that terrible guy, Republican's name, who was saying that today? What is he? He's really scary. He looks like a demon. Hadley or something?
Ooh, I don't know. There's a lot of demon looking.
Yeah, I'll find it. Yeah. Anyway, these were good. Thanks, guys. These were great. Keep it going. Keep them going. In fact, let's just retweet this again. Oh wait, did I play? I'm so bad at Twitter. I basically just learned how to add tweets. Everyone know Mitch McConnell should dump Connie Chung now. In a couple of years, he was dunk me. Be smart, Rich. Katie Halper should be muzzled so no one has to take her half-baked radicalized nonsense. Biden. There he is lying. Biden says electing Georgia's Ossoff and Warnock would lead to 2000.
What's so funny about the lying Biden pushback is he fucking had to drop out of previous presidential campaigns.
I know, because he lied.
Because of plagiarism.
He plagiarized and then lied about plagiarizing. Let's see. We got My American Rescue Plan is the best plan. The plan will extend unemployment insurance very bigly. The American people can count on the checks to be in their pockets. Big.
Oh, see, this is what I'm talking about here. I actually like Play Close 33, who found a new tweet and then did it like Trump. So you see this right here?
Sorry, where
this
is
tweet
this?
you're looking at right here.
Oh,
they took the Walter Reed thing and then tweeted
this
like,
is good. We got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I like that.
Yes, that is good. Yes, we got to encourage this. Okay,
I like that. Finding a new one.
Right. Yesterday, I visited Walter Reed for the first time as president to thank our frontline workers and members of our armed forces. Selfless, humble, and dedicated to service. These folks truly represent the best of America. Yesterday,
but you won't pay them.
Yeah. Disgusting. Yesterday, I visited the lovely Walter Reed Hospital. Hard-working frontline workers have never been more pleased that their president is on the job. Unity. That's good. Unity. That's good, yeah. We Democrats are trying to keep our beautiful schools closed. We can't let them get away with it. He'd asking Congress to increase the ridiculously low 600 to 2,000 or 400 for a couple until the pandemic is over. Yeah, that's really pathetic. And then let's see. One more thing. Jack, do you have like 5 more minutes?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right.
I mean, dinner will be a little bit late, but that's okay.
Cold, yeah. So this is from Biden on the crime bill. Let's watch this. This is like 46 seconds, just so people know what we were talking about. And then I will show the Warnock Ossoff thing. This is the hang. I didn't know about this, the hang thing. I know about a lot of Biden's quotes, but I didn't know about this one.
Shit.
This is
Can you see it? Can you guys see it?
Yeah.
Let me tell you what is in the bill. And I'll let you all decide whether or not this is weak. Let me get down here a compendium of the things that are in the bill. 1, the death penalty. It provides 53 death penalty offenses. Weak as can be, you know?
So
we do everything but hang people for jaywalking.
Oh, sorry. I just had to rewind. This is him trying to defend criticism, I'm sure, from the Republicans.
Yes, that's too weak.
We do everything but hang people for jaywalking.
That's literally insane. But it's okay. He's against it now. He's against the death penalty now. First president
has he ever even come out against it yet?
I mean, that's what they're parroting. Who knows?
Weak as can be, you know? We do everything but hang people for jaywalking in this bill. That's weak stuff.
Oh my God, I cannot believe that. But it also is extremely on brand. And then here is
he's just a conservative.
Like sadistic conservative. And then
he almost became a Republican in the 70s, and like basically since then, and basically since then, when he's like been friends with Orrin Hatch and everybody, it's like he almost became a Republican, and then he like has just tried to win their approval ever since. You know, that's like been his whole
about
thing.
This with which was, I thought that who was it? Was it Leslie? I didn't think he was joking when he said, Strom Thurmond never called me boy. Like I thought he was like not being totally cognizant and like didn't realize that of course he wouldn't call him boy because he's white. But Leslie thought that he was, I think it was Leslie, it was like, no, he was making a bad joke.
I mean, either way.
Either way is.
Yeah. So here's Senator Reverend Raphael Warnock, January 1st. Kay Loeffler isn't in D.C. fighting for a 2,000 relief check. She's on the campaign trail, trying desperately to save her own job. She's fighting for herself. I'll fight for you. So yeah, I mean, also Biden really threw these guys under the bus, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, of course he did.
This check will not exist for any person in the country. No. This check that they did drew up an image that says $2,000 on it. There's not a single person for whom a check like this will ever exist. In fact, the only check that exists are ones that have Donald Trump's name signed on them as of right now.
I think I was talking to someone in an argument with someone about the $2,000 check, and I kid you not, their response to me was, "Oh, it's not a check; it's direct deposit, so it's okay. It won't be $2,000." I'm like,
"Oh my god." Then they should have drawn a direct deposit.
Right. Yeah. Even aside from all that, like, even if that is true, it's like a direct deposit over the course of 7 months. Right. That doesn't count as one deposit. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
no, it's
hell,
bad.
is what it is.
And I'm not surprised he threw him under the bus, though. I mean, that's how you get to be president.
Right.
That's how you get to, the top of the Democratic Party. You're willing to throw people under the bus and just keep it pushing. And you're willing to say you're going to give people $2,000 and you don't, and just keep it pushing. Like, it's horrible, it's heinous, but that's how you play the game. That's how you get to the top, of the hierarchy in our politics.
Right. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Oh, someone did. I don't know if I can play this mashup. This is when he wanted to find the rationale to take down raves, but we'll talk about it another time because I have to make sure I'm not sure about the copyright with that. In fact, this was back in the day, Matt Taibbi and I, when we had we were talking about this. We played that video of him saying that raves needed to be here. Actually, Brad, let me just play this because it's not copyright music. Okay. Well, let me play the original. Can I have the non-satire link, Brad, first? Yeah, hang on. Let's see what other comments are. That one's the best, Katie. Which one's the best? Let's see. Dirtbag left back of the lol. What's the date of that tweet? Oh, I think it's January 1. That tweet, right? I think it was January 1. And you're right. I forgot to tweet. Like, I forgot. Yeah. Hold on. That tweet was from, where is that? Why can't I find it? 1 second, guys.
All good.
Okay, this is from January 1st. Yeah, that was January 1st, that tweet. And someone tweeted, Mary Jane Byrne tweets on January 16th. Was she fighting for 1,400 though? Yeah. Oh wait, that's you, Jack. You were Grinch posting, right? You must have tweeted that out because.
Did somebody reply to Grinch posting or something?
Yeah, you.
No longer. The Grinch is gone. The Grinch has disappeared. No more Grinch.
Off. Okay. I have it. Okay, here's the video of Biden talking about raves. It's actually really excellent. All right, hold on. We actually, when he, well, I'll tell you in a second. 1 second, sorry. Okay. Yeah, we played this on Useful Idiots too.
Ordinances relating to stiff criminal penalties for anyone who held a rave. The promoter, the guy who owned the building. I would put the son of a gun in jail. I would change the law.
Oh my God.
There's no doubt about where these raves are. In the middle of the desert. Arrest the promoter.
The promoter. It's so funny the way
the promoter.
The promoter.
The promoter. Find a rationale unrelated to drugs.
Find a rationale.
Keeping an unsafe, for example, I'm the guy who authored the crack house legislation.
Oh, the crack house legislation.
We can use the crack house legislation.
Guys, we can use the crack house legislation. By the way, you find this is what Biden's slogan should have been. Instead of Build Back Better, this should have been his campaign slogan for why he was running.
In the middle of the desert, arrest the promoter. Find a rationale.
Find the rationale. There it is. To justify why he was running, yeah. Anyway, well, Jack, thank you so much. And, oh, wait, sorry, I got to play the satire version. And then I will, hold on. Okay, I hope this is, all right. Let's see, it's only 30 seconds, so for reals. This is a Jewish goodbye, kind of. Let's see.
To stiff criminal penalties for anyone who held a rave. The promoter, the guy who owned the building. I would put the son of a gun in jail. I would change the law. There's no doubt about where these raves are. In the middle of the desert. Arrest the promoter. Bulldoze down their business. I'm looking forward to the first time I see it happen. Great big bulldozer. Bulldoze it down. Literally.
Bulldoze it down, literally. Wow. Anyway.
So good.
Yeah. Well, Jack, thank you so much. I don't know if you have any more time, Justin, to take any more questions or chat about other things.
Yeah, I've got a little bit more time.
Okay, great.
Cool. Good to see you. See you later, everybody. Bye.
Send me your audio, Jack.
Oh, I will. Do right now.
Thank you. Yeah. Arrest the promoter. Yeah.
I'm wondering what Bernie was like sitting in the Senate thinking when he's hearing that.
I know.
Like, these people are nuts.
Yeah, they really are. And thank you, Brad, for that clip. Wow. Writes $1 a month for 2,000 months. Yeah. Yeah, it's really ridiculous. Let's see. Yeah, you want to see the thing of Biden talking. Let me see if I can find it. Biden talking about his about the busing. Let me see. Also, can someone tell me why Marxist and why Chavez are tweeting?
Trending?
Oh, no. Yeah, sorry, trending. Thank you.
Marxists and Chavez.
Yeah.
Not sure.
Okay, this is a good one. Oh, do I not have the video of this? Oh man, hold on. I have a really good.
This always just made me think of Kamala in that awkward ass interview where she's like, "It was a debate."
Oh my God, I know. What makes you think of that? Oh, the busing. I know. I wanted them to come in like on a bus together or something. Hold on. When they. One second. All right, I put this together when I was doing a podcast a couple years ago, and Branko Marcetic was the guest, who's really great. Everyone should get his book, Yesterday's Man. I have it. I'll put it on display. But let me just, I think this is it. Let me see. No, this is not it. Hold on. Wait, is this it? Where's the one where I show him on? Yeah, because it's not. Okay, yeah, here it is. Ready? All right. Okay, so this is a mashup of Biden back in the day. Like, this is a radio clip of him. But first, I'm going to show the setup, which is when he was on. This was like 2019 or 2018 when he was on. When was this? What year was this? I'll tell you after. But he was on PodSave. On podcast of our great friends, PodSave America. I can't believe he actually said this. I'm going to say something outrageous. It's outrageous, yeah, because it's not true. I'm going to say something outrageous.
I'm going to say something outrageous. I have never, ever, ever, ever voted for anything I thought was wrong, even when it has cost me dearly at home. In the middle of the most extensive busing order in all of the United States history in my state, I voted against an amendment, the deciding vote, to allow the courts to keep busing as a remedy.
No, in fact, he was driving force in the fight against busing.
32-year-old Joseph Biden of Delaware led the fight for the recent Senate anti-busing amendment. He says he did it because busing just isn't working.
Concept of busing, which implicit in that concept is a rejection of the whole movement of black pride.
Oh my
Black
God.
is beautiful, black culture should be studied.
on podcast ever agree. Can you? So just to be clear, he is doing this because of his black nationalism or black is beautiful orientation. Like, does he think anyone believes that?
He's a sociopath. He probably does.
Isn't working.
Concept of busing, which implicit in that concept is a rejection of the whole movement of black pride, where black is beautiful, black culture should be studied.
On podcast of our great friend. So black is beautiful, black culture should be studied, and we should not have. Look, there's obviously people can make that critique of busing. That's clearly not what was motivating Biden.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's just another way for him to, kind of flip it on its head. I mean, they do this, constantly. Whenever they have something that's brought up to them that is an obvious mistake, they rationalize it.
Yeah,
Biden did it with Social Security. He did it with the Iraq War. Bankruptcy legislation, just literally anything you could think of, he's done it with. So, it's not surprising.
Yeah. And that's one of the reasons, like, I think I can't remember if it was before you came on, but Margaret was talking about, like, the coverage of Trump. And one of the scary things for me about the way that people want to, like, label tweets or things as true or not true or information or disinformation is because not only, like, the effect that it has on, the censorship issue, but, like, it suggests by process of elimination that the other things that are out there are true.
Right.
And there's so much that's not true, and they get the official, like, approval of not being labeled as untrue, which is as dangerous as the other stuff side of it.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And it's like you said, it's dangerous because obviously the censorship angle to it is going to end up cutting off a lot of the, especially anti-war left media, like Ryan McCulloch and Max Blumenthal. But it's also equally as dangerous because it paints people like Joe Biden as a truth teller.
Exactly.
Even though he's a documented liar. And so when he's actually lying about stuff like $2,000 checks and, the drilling permits and everything that he's already done, people take that as truth, which is just as dangerous as cutting off those other sources of information that actually are truth. It goes hand in hand.
Yeah. Exactly. It's like both sides of it. Also, let's see, Bojack Productions. Justin, what do other people in the league think about your politics? Have you gotten any pushback? Do you have any allies?
I'd say I probably have more allies than I would expect. At least on my team, I haven't talked to a lot of people from other teams. But you know what? I thought I would have a lot more pushback because, just being a progressive, even in the online space, is like, you're one of few. But I think more and more of my teammates kind of have come up to me, even if maybe they don't necessarily, like one of my coaches who's probably like a right winger, like for sure, like he probably votes Republican, but we would talk a lot and we would have conversations and we probably wouldn't come to agreements on certain policies here and there, but we would come to agreements on, wait, no, we know this is messed up. We know this isn't how things should be. Right. And this is corrupt or that's corrupt. And I think that's the first step. Right. That's the first step of kind of deprogramming their mind so that maybe eventually they will look more into it and come over to your side. And I think I have a unique kind of angle on a lot of these debates, especially when it comes to talking people who aren't lefties, who aren't progressives, and trying to kind of flip them into it, because I've been in locker rooms my whole career where I have people from Texas who grew up in, or Louisiana or Arkansas, who grew up in, very conservative households. And so I first, meet them, engage with them, and become friends with them from a non-political angle. And then once we have that foundation, we can actually talk about that stuff without being like, you're a racist or you're just some liberal, you know what I mean? Like that doesn't really come up.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of people think, like, get it a little backwards. They think that, like, you can't, like they think about, this argument, which we hear all the time, which is a total, I think, lib argument, but sometimes leftists buy it too, which is that, like, you can't organize around class because racism. It's like, no, that's like why you have to organize around class.
Exactly.
And labor, like when people work together, I'm not like over romanticizing how like you just need to meet a person of that group and then you're not a racist. I'm not claiming that, but like when people are working together and like on a team together, it's just like, it's not. And again, this is not some like cheesy, oh, people just need exposure and blah, blah. And obviously racism is like, as the Democrats know, it's systemic. And what did they kept saying during the DNC? about how COVID affected Black people more than white people.
Disproportionately.
And so racism, they call it systemic and structural. I guess it was more systemic that they said, right? It's like, so what are you going to do about it?
What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, exactly. Not do Medicare for all. So it's almost worse than the Republicans who don't ever talk about systemic racism. You guys know about it and you're not doing anything?
The co-opting of identity politics is probably one of the sickest things that the Democratic Party has done, but it's also helped them entrench their base. And so you see why they do it, because it leads to, people being more tribalized towards the blue team as opposed to the red team. But like you said earlier, I mean, I 100% agree. Like you have to organize around class, because that's, the establishment wants to use race to separate and keep people, segregated, in the sense that, poor whites have way more in common with poor Blacks. But if you have the poor whites not hating or not liking or, feeling, like they need to, stay 20 feet apart or whatever from the poor Blacks, then they're not actually talking about how they're both being screwed over by the capitalists, right? And that's the playbook. And it's worked spectacularly well.
Right. Divide and conquer. Yeah. Do you feel like you had an aha moment about any of these things?
It's hard for me to, because like I said, I literally had like no political thoughts in my head before like the 2016 election. So I felt like I didn't really have to like deprogram myself from too much. I was more so like learning it all fresh. And I think once I like just started learning about how often the government lies, that's when I kind of started being like, wait, I'm going to assume that they're lying. And then, if they're actually telling the truth, I'll work my way there. But I'm never going to assume that they're telling the truth, because that's how you get, a populace that believes that, there's actually a party fighting for them when they're just fighting for their donors and rich and elites.
Right. And 1 second, let me just see. Let's see. Emmett Smith or Bernie Sanders?
That's actually funny, because I was a Cowboys fan growing up. So Emmett Smith was one of probably the best Cowboy running backs. But I mean, Bernie. Bernie's, America's dad.
Yeah,
America's grandpa.
Yeah, we got a and uncle too. They call him Theo Bernie, Amo Bernie. Amo, I believe, is grandfather, right? Yeah.
I mean, Bernie did disappoint me with just the way he kind of like cowered over, and now he's just towing the line kind of. But I mean, I'll always appreciate the movement he galvanized. You just have to. I mean, he probably wouldn't be here, as big of a movement as we are without him. So.
Yeah, and I also like the guy is like, whether or not I agree with all his decisions, the guy had a heart attack and his daughter-in-law died during the campaign. And I'm not
I didn't know that.
And it's like, of course, like he didn't talk about that stuff because he's just, I have a thing, like I see Bernie as an individual, not just part of a structure, but whatever. Also in history, that's what happens, which doesn't mean like that we should still be aware of that and push people. But let's see. And what about, I think, like, I just wanted to ask, let's see. I sure wouldn't be here without him, David says. So, yeah, I think we can be critical of him and also acknowledge.
Yeah. That's what politics is supposed to be. I just hate how, like, you have to be 100% for a politician.
Right.
And you can't just appreciate them, but also be critical of them. It's like, it's the most frustrating thing. And the fact that it's invaded the left is the most frustrating thing for me.
Right.
Because we're supposed to be about the policies. We're supposed to be above that.
Right.
And we're kind of falling into it too. So.
Right. And can you tell people about what your own personal relationship with Medicare for All? I mean, you spoke about this at the town hall, and you spoke about it with me on my show. But what happened with your own family and healthcare?
Yeah. When I was 3, about to turn 4, my mom passed away she had a very aggressive form of breast cancer that had metastasized just everywhere. And so obviously that was emotional and traumatic for my family. I was very young. Once I got older, and started getting in the lefty spaces, I wanted to learn more about like how that affected our family financially. And we were a middle class family. Both my parents worked. My dad was an engineer, and so we were a middle class family, solidly middle class, lived in the Chicago suburbs. But when I asked my family about how that was for us financially, they actually told me that my mom was worried about our finances because of how much the treatment was costing. As she's fighting this extremely aggressive form of breast cancer at 30 years old, like she's having to worry about our family's finances and maybe not wanting to get extra treatment because of that. It's just horrifying, and I said, like, it doesn't make me unique. It makes me very common in the sense that there's thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of other families that have gone through this. And yet we still have the system, and yet we still have people that are on our side, on the Democratic Party, that won't even bring it to the floor for a vote. It's sickening, it's disgusting, and you can't tell me you care about people or you believe in science if you are going to continue letting us be the only developed country that doesn't have this. And when you leave something up to for profit, there's going to be people left out.
Right. Yeah, and Tawaz says Tawaz went through a similar situation growing up. It stays with you forever. Yeah, it's I can't imagine. Do you know if it didn't? Like, was she able to go through with the treatment that she needed? As if
I think, I think because potentially it could have bankrupted our family, but it was very aggressive and very fast. So the fight didn't last too long.
That's so awful.
Yeah, and I remember we had to have in hospice. I remember that's like one of my first earliest memories was my mom in the hospice bed at my grandma's house. So I know that was they had to bring in another whole bed and all the type of stuff, and I'm sure it had to have treatment there and available. So that was probably very expensive too. It's crazy that you have to be shelling out all this money at the most horrible and traumatic time of a family's life. You're just shelling money out of your savings account you worked your whole life for. It's just it makes me want to scream. It's just so
it's like
disturbing. It really is disturbing.
Yeah, it's like the last thing you should be worrying about is like anything, you're already it's already like a tragedy that you're dealing with as a family and as and then you have to worry about this, and it just doesn't have to be that way. That's like the big thing that I do think that the Bernie thing and the idea that like these things aren't acceptable is, and now we have to move that. Like, so, okay, the problem is a lot of us think about that, but what's next? But I do at least think that is a spark, like that's not the way it has to be, because we're so often told by like the technocracy that it just has to be that way. Like, that's sad, but we just can't afford to do it any other way. And it's just so not that way.
Yeah. I always say, like, if the establishment is parroting something and it's completely the opposite, of course, it's just projection. Like, that's what everything is in this country. It's like, oh, they're not democratic, we have to go overthrow them because they're not democratic in their elections, are this and that.
Right.
That's projection, right? Like, it's like it's everything. We're projecting our ills to the rest of the world, and we're making them atone for that, even though we do the same thing.
Right.
They have bread lines. They have bread lines in Texas. Like, what do you mean?
Right.
Like,
exactly. Yeah.
people are eating out of dumpsters. I live in LA. Like,
right. Exactly.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
Yeah. Where is this? Where was this? Plum Drum. I love the argument that we should be happy it's not Europe in the 1300s. Health is a luxury. Yeah, definitely. And this is true. The most disturbing is that Biden experienced this healthcare disaster personally and still doesn't give a crap. Yeah, Brianna Joy Gray was on the show a while ago and talked about how the weaponization of tragedy, how terrible that is. And she mentioned that her dad had died. I think it's going to be. Oh, sorry.
Oh, Bree?
Yeah.
Bree said that?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
and how it's going to be 15 years in February. And she's like, the gall for you to like use personal tragedy to like try to prevent others from getting life-saving care is just terrible. Yeah.
Remember when that veteran confronted him at a rally and he was like, "Oh, my son served in the military."
Yes.
And I was like, your son, like, yes, he served in the military, but he's trying to say like he doesn't want any of his friends or more people to die.
Right. Yeah. And his son didn't. I mean, he was sad his son died of brain cancer, but like he didn't die in the military. Like that's not.
It just was like, wow, like he's taking that, weaponizing it, and now he's gonna get all his supporters to like be mad at the veteran, asking him to stop getting more troops. Like it's
disgusting. How many people did he also tell that we should tally up the number of times he told people to vote for Trump? Remember? Then vote for Trump.
Vote for Trump. Yeah. He's like, I'm trying to rally you, away from deporting people, and he's like, vote for Trump. I'm like,
it's so disgusting. It's so entitled.
Wow.
Justin Johnson, K&J, the way you were describing political tribalism reminds me of a poem by Bertolt Brecht. If you haven't read it yet, check out the Ballad of the Water Wheel. Okay, I will. I'll go look for that. And then there were some other...
K&J, that sounds like a good name. We should have a show together.
What?
I like that, K&J.
Oh, K&J? Yeah, we should, right? Let's do it, yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, none of that K&K, Crystal and Kyle. No, forget that, K&J. Shout out to Crystal and Kyle, of course. And Justin was just on their show. It was great.
That was awesome. Crystal and Kyle are great.
They're great. KB98 asks, are you going to run for Congress in 22?
No, I think I'll still be running the ball, probably.
Right, running the ball, yeah.
And football. But.
None of your business writes, I can't understand how black mothers and grandmothers could have voted for the one who destroyed their men.
I mean, that's propaganda.
Yeah, it is.
A quick story. My grandfather, who grew up in Mississippi, moved to Chicago, like, grew up on a farm, like just, really like hardworking black man in America through, the times. Right. And during the primary, I brought up, he's a CNN, MSNBC liberal. And I brought up to him Bloomberg in the primary, and I wanted to kind of probe him to see, what he thought about Bloomberg. And he told me that he was happy that Bloomberg was hiring all these black, like staffers and all these black people and giving these black people jobs and all that type of stuff. And I was like, wow, like just that angle, the angle that he came at that with. It's just like, that is the propagandizing of mine through media. And they don't consume. He's 70 something. Like he doesn't consume any other media than cable news. Right. But he knows,
Right. Yeah, which is why there is such a discrepancy with like voters among according to age. Right. Because younger people did consume the, alternative stuff. Oh my God, wait. Brad found an article. I can't believe this. Let me disable my ad blocker, sorry. Okay. So this is insane. Hold on, I gotta show this to people. Okay. Thank you, Brad, for this. This is all the times that Biden told people not to vote for him.
Wow, and Forbes, huh? Okay.
So top line, Forbes, right? Former Vice President Joe Biden said in an MSNBC interview on Thursday that Americans who believe Tara Reade's allegation of sexual assault against him probably shouldn't vote for him, which follows a long pattern of Biden telling people not to vote for him. Timeline. November 8th, 1979. While stumping for Democratic candidate Joe Mangini in a Delaware Assembly special election, then Senator Biden told voters, take a look at him. If you like what you see, vote for Joe. If not, vote for the other guy.
Go vote for the other guy. Just, if you don't like me, just... He said that. Didn't he say that?
Yeah, that's what he said.
He said that recently.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're going through all the times. I should write this.
80s,
Maria and Brad, can you write down what time this is? Because I want to make sure to make this a clip.
Because he said, vote. If you like what you see, vote for Joe. If not, vote for the other Biden. I think that's what he said, right?
Well, let's see. During in 1987, during his 88 presidential campaign, Biden told a group of voters at a campaign event in Iowa, please look me over. And that if they don't like what they see, to just vote for the other guy. He said it again at an event on June 9th. 2007, during his second run for president, Biden once again told voters in Iowa, if you like what I say, vote for me. If you don't, vote against me.
I mean, that's one of those things that's like redundant, right? Like,
yeah, obviously, right. It goes without say, right?
it just sounds authoritarian. It feels authoritarian, so he likes to do it.
It's very
almost like he's in control, you know?
Yes, that's really yeah, it is. It's like it's totally not making himself vulnerable.
Right, exactly.
It's kind of like when Mayor Pete is like, I'm not asking you for your vote. To
all those black people.
Oh my God! And he was wearing. I tried to like. We have to make a GIF out of this. He was wearing like he looked like such a nerd. It was like Election. Is that the movie with Reese Witherspoon? It was like Strong.
I'm not sure.
What's that movie?
But he had his like. He had his like sleeves rolled up, right?
Well, he had like a megaphone, and so he had it like around his arm. That's right. It was so good. Yeah, it's like big entitled energy.
Yeah, that video was actually really funny because he's like, I'm not asking your vote for one of the people in the crowd was like, well, you ain't getting it.
I know, it was so, oh my God. It's so good. I'll find it after this. March 23rd, 2012, while campaigning for Obama's re-election, Biden told a crowd in Florida, when you look at Barack and me, when you look at our opponents, take our measure, and then recited a familiar refrain. If you like what you see, vote for me. If not, vote for the other guy. Biden, 77, responded to voters' concerns about his age by declaring, I say if they're concerned, don't vote for me. Oh my God. Oh, this is it. When Carlos Rojas, an immigrant activist, pressed Biden at an event in South Carolina on the issue of deportations during the Obama administration, Biden told Rojas, you should vote for Trump. That's like nice. Like he doesn't, that's kind of like even worse than the, if you're not black, what is it? If you're voting for Trump, you're not black. Wait, what would he say?
If you don't vote for me, it's me against Trump, and you don't know who you're voting for, you ain't black.
You ain't black. Yeah, that was on the Breakfast
Club. Charlamagne's face. Yeah. Wow, he's indignant too. The thing about Mayor Pete is he's scared of black people. Joe Biden's not. Joe Biden will say that, or he'll scream at civil rights leaders on a Zoom call. Like he just doesn't care.
Well, and he'll tell them how this is like the best part of that entire Zoom call, I think, is how he's extremely optimistic because, I mean, the best parts are when he berates them for not being more grateful, but also when he says that he's extremely optimistic because 15 years ago, never would have guessed that 4 to 7 out of 15 commercials would be biracial.
Oh, biracial. Oh.
Which also, like, again, the lie, it's like the entitlement. Not only is he lying, but like the 4 to 7 out of 15 or whatever thing he makes up, like how entitled are you that you don't even like there's no study that says that.
Yeah,
also,
it doesn't
make sense. 4 to
from?
7, yeah, but he's so used to getting away with it, like you were saying with the Nelson Mandela thing, which we should get to that, but let's see. Then January 29th, 2020, environmental activist Ed Fallon confronted Biden on his climate positions, and Biden responded, you have to go vote for someone else. You're not going to vote for me in the primary. May 14th, 2020, Biden said in an MSNBC interview that voters who believe Tara Reade's allegation that he sexually assaulted her in 1993 probably shouldn't vote for me and should instead vote their heart, adding, I wouldn't vote for me if I believed Tara Reade.
Oof, that is super manipulative.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah. Oof. Fallon, who had told Biden, it's so gross. Yes. It's really gross. Fallon, who had, and that was such a softball interview.
Near Tannen probably came up with a response. That was a thought up response.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Oh, all of that stuff was thought up. Totally. Yeah. Fallon, who had told Biden he would vote for him in the general election, said of his encounter, I did not expect to be told to leave to go vote for somebody else. He called the interaction in which Biden poked Fallon's chest. Remember that? Not appropriate.
Ooh, I don't think I remember that.
Let me see. Wait, where does this Fallon thing come up first? It's the environmental critic. Okay. Wait, what is it? Environmental activist. Yeah. Here, let me open that too. I did not expect to be told to leave to go vote for somebody else. He called the interaction in which Biden poked Fallon's chest not appropriate and cautioned that telling progressive voters not to vote for him is a deleterious campaign strategy. I don't think you can beat Trump and you have him actively telling people like me, don't vote for me, vote for someone else. Well, that's not helpful at all, he said. Tangent. Biden had another heated confrontation with a voter in December, which landed him in hot water when an Iowa farmer attacked Biden for his age. Oh, I forgot. Oh, my God. And his son's business activities in Ukraine and said he wouldn't vote for him. Biden shot back, well, I know you weren't, man. You think I thought you'd stand up and vote for me? You're too old to vote for me.
What does that even mean? That's backwards. Like the young people didn't support him.
Exactly. I know, you're right. But that's not what got Biden in trouble. Critics instead seized on what appeared to be Biden telling the voter, look fat, though Biden claims he said facts. It's so not true. And poor Simone Sanders. Yeah. Look,
that doesn't
facts,
even make sense.
Yeah. Newsbag. Biden's latest statement has the potential to alienate a block of voters who are at least considering voting for him in November. A Monmouth poll found that 20% of Democrats say Reid's allegation is probably true, but 94% of Democrats in that poll say they prefer Biden over Trump in the election, meaning there is surely some overlap between voters who believe Reid and voters who are back Biden. But then the full court press smearing Reid happened, so that took care of that. Oh, here it is. Oh my God, wait, can someone tell me does someone have the link? Hold on, I have to turn off my ad blocker.
I probably got to run after this too.
Okay, yeah. Let me just play you.
But I want to. I want to.
We can go off with which one should we play? Let's play do you remember the fat one? Listen Fat or no?
I remember it, but you
want to see that one?
Yeah,
right?
I want to see that one again.
All right.
Look fat. Man, he's got courage. That's one thing he does have.
Yeah.
He has the courage to do and say whatever comes to his mind.
Right, because he gets away with it because no one calls him out on it. Because look at him at the debates. Like, Bernie couldn't even mention that was terrible. I would have gone crazy if I had been Sirota or Bree. Or, any of the people who wanted him to actually run against Biden's record. Okay, let me share. You see, I just said something critical of Bernie. There you go. All right.
We all know Trump has been messing around in Ukraine when they're holding their foreign aid for them to come up saying it's an investigation. We know all about that.
He's referring to Hunter Biden, basically. He's referring to Ukraine investigation.
No backbone for that. But you, on the other hand...
Oh, he's getting ready. Look at him.
Yeah, he is. He's doing the what would you call that? The stroll?
He's pacing. Yeah, he's like pacing. That's super disrespectful.
Yeah, it is. Super disrespectful. He's turning his back on him, yeah.
He doesn't care. He doesn't care.
Get a job and work for a gas company.
Burisma.
In order to get access to the public for the president. So you're selling access to the president just like he is.
He's saying you're selling access, right? Just like he is, meaning Trump, yeah.
You're a damn liar, man.
Just look at this. Okay, triggered.
You're a damn liar.
You're a damn liar, man. That's not true. And no one has ever said that? No one has proved that? I see it on the TV. You see it on the TV. No, I know you do. And by the way, that's why I'm not sedentary. I don't get up.
He said, I see on the TV, and Biden's trying to body shame him. For real. He goes, I'm not sedentary.
What's that mean?
Like the sedentary is like you don't walk around. Like sedentary, I don't know what it literally means, but it's like you're not active.
Okay.
No one has ever said that?
You're the opposite of sedentary, for instance.
No one has proved that? You see it on the TV. No, I know you do. By the way, that's why I'm not sedentary.
That's why I'm not sedentary.
I get up and no,
I get up and...
Let him go. Let him go. Look,
I guess someone was trying to silence him or kick him out of the room.
I'm running is because I've been around a long time and I know more than most people know.
Did you hear that? The reason I'm running is because I've been around a long time and I know more than most people know.
And I can get things done. That's why I'm running. And you want to check my shape on it, let's do push-ups.
You want to check my shape? What?
But we never even talked about that. See, he never brought that up.
No.
Biden brings it up because he's thinking about his weight.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a long time and I know more than most people know. And I can get things done. That's why I'm running. And you want to check my shape on it, let's do push-ups together here, man. Let's run. Let's do whatever you want to do. Let's take it on.
It's so mean. He's so mean. Like the guy I think probably watches Fox News. I'm sure he disagrees with his politics, but like that's so gross.
Yeah. Number two. No one has said my son has done anything wrong, and I did not.
Okay, just blatant lie.
Blatant lie. That's why he turned around and did it.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's a tell, right? Because it's not even like You know what he did with Tara Reid and other things is he'd say like the mainstream media hasn't said this, which is a more convincing thing to say. But like you can't say nobody because obviously people were saying this about Hunter Biden because he was paid like $30,000 a month or a day. I don't remember how ridiculous it was for something he was totally unqualified for.
On any occasion.
Which doesn't mean I think that Trump's kids were wholesome.
Right. And no one has ever said it.
Yeah, they were worse.
You didn't say you were doing anything wrong. You said.
Oh, okay, hold on.
Occasion. And no one has ever said it. Not
I didn't say you were doing anything wrong.
You said I set up my son to work in an oil company.
You literally did.
Isn't that what you said?
How can he be mad at the guy when he legit has a son who had no background in energy or Ukraine, didn't speak Ukrainian, and then got a hugely lucrative gig on the board of Burisma?
Yeah.
I get your words straight, Jack.
That's what I hear on the.
He's a bully.
He is?
We don't hear that in MSNBC. You did not hear that.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Sorry, wasn't it?
But you heard. Look, okay, I'm not going to get in an argument with you, man. Well, yeah, you do. But look, fat. Look.
Look, fat. Look. I forgot.
You did not hear that at all. What you heard.
That's so gaslighting. You did not hear that at all, what you heard.
Okay, I'm not going to get in an argument with you, man. Well, yeah, you do. But look, fat. Look, here's the deal. Here's the deal.
Look, fat. Look, here's the deal.
Wait, okay, rewind it. Look at the lady right under his right elbow. I think she left.
Hear that in MSNBC? You did not hear that at all. What you heard. Look, okay, I'm not going to get in an argument with you, man. Well, yeah, you do. But look, fat. Look, here's the deal. Here's the deal.
The one with the white with the white hair or the blonde hair?
I think it was the one with the blonde hair.
Let's see. Gotta track her down.
Look, fat. Look, here's the deal. Here's the deal.
Oh, it's freezing on my screen.
Oh, yeah. She's smiling.
What did he say?
Something about.
Any other questions?
I feel so bad for the guy, and he's not. It wouldn't matter.
Well, I knew you weren't, man. You think I thought you'd stand up and vote for me? You're too old to vote for me.
Ah!
What did he say?
He says you don't have any backbone.
Talk. Let him talk.
Any other questions?
So then he goes, I'm not voting for you.
Well, I knew you weren't, man. You think I thought you'd stand up and vote for me? You're too old to vote for me.
You think I thought you'd stand up and vote for me? You're too old to vote for me. That is so disgusting.
This doesn't even make sense. Like Biden's older
He's just
than him.
making. Yeah, I know, but he's not sedentary, Justin. I'll do some push-ups with him. So
I mean, Biden. He is a bully, man. He's
such a bully.
He fits in well with the Republican Party.
Yeah,
which is why he always feels like he can work so well with them, and he's such good friends with them, and he'll, somehow his administration will be different with them.
Yeah. I'll get the yeah, it's true. In a room of, I mean, I don't like that word, but in a room of, where was this? In a room of geriatrics. Yep. It's true.
In a room of geriatrics.
Yeah, like why is he calling? Yeah, that's the pot calling the kettle senile. And yeah, weird how MSM didn't give any of this a lot of coverage. It is so true. Like, can we just pause for a second and remember that this is the president? And like, again, imagine like burnt. I mean, again, it's inconceivable because it would never happen. But like this, they didn't give any like I mean, just covering that would have been a good thing, but they didn't.
I mean, look at the. I think the poor kids and white kids was a good one because they like had to kind of cover it, and they covered it for like half a day maybe, and then just moved on.
Which
but I mean,
that the one where he was talking about like get on the radio, poor kids are yeah.
I think that was the same interview, but yeah, poor kids are just as bright as white kids. I mean, that would sink. I mean, Bernie's campaign would be done.
Oh my God, I know, right? No, yes, exactly, yeah. P. Walker, it's better to be the bully in the Democratic Party than be just another bully in the Republicans.
That's true. I mean,
yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
it worked for him. He got to the top.
Disgusting. Yeah. Yeah, he's really gross. Well, he really is terrible. Yeah, he's the perfect personality for the schoolyard bully. All right. Well, thank you, so much. Really, this was really amazing. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, I love coming on.
Yeah, definitely come back. We'll do a K. What was it? A J and K, K and J.
Yeah, K and J.
K and J segment. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, this is awesome. Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome.
Everyone follow
Well,
Justin
thanks,
on Twitter. Thank you. Bye.
All right. I'll see you.
All right. So, guys, thank you so much for joining the show. Sorry, my forehead's a little shiny. I'm also freezing. Oh, yeah, I know. Lying dog face pony. Jackson is really a mensch. It's true. He really is a mensch. Yeah. And any other questions? I thought that was great. Let's see. We have some really good. Guess who we're having on Thursday, guys? Lady Bunny. Do you guys know Lady Bunny? She's great. I have to keep this show tight because I need to have a healthy sleep schedule. I hate the word sleep hygiene, but we will write down right underneath one of the chats. Write down like one of my tweets. I mean, just write down some of the videos you want me to play. Because we can do the corn pop thing. God, this is so. Thank you. Yeah. And then Ricky rants. A march for Medicare for all is in the works for July in DC. Deets dropping soon. Would love to have you involved, Justin. Sorry, I didn't get that on time, but I will send that to him. If anyone posted any super chats that I missed, please. This is it. Ricky rants. A march for Medicare for all is in the works for July in DC. Deets dropping soon. Would love to have you involved, Justin. If I miss anyone's super chats, when Cop Mala has him killed, we're all going to miss him. It's kind of funny. Yeah, if I missed any super chats, we'll play the Mayor Pete thing. Oh wait, hold on. Oh no, I already read that one. Yeah, so next time we'll play the Mayor Pete one. Oh wait, don't forget to comment once the live stream is over. Oh yeah. Okay, and then we can so is that where they should be commenting? I miss yours, yeah. Tell me where it is. Is that where they should be? Yeah, Ryan. I should invite Ryan and Brie, right? Let's see. Yes, this was a great show. Thank you guys for coming. I can say that. I don't mean that's not a brag. I mean, it was a great discussion. And Thursday, again, we will have Lady Bunny. And yeah, if I didn't read your thing, please let me know ASAP. I missed two. Yeah, Katie Kelly banter. We'll get Kelly back for some banter. Okay, Adam Curtis, definitely. And engagement, is that who's Lady Bunny? Lady Bunny's great. She's a performer. Look her up. If you don't want to watch my show, don't watch the show. Watch someone else's show. Get it? What I was doing? I was being Biden. Oh wait, I missed Brian Fredericks. What was his? Does anyone know what his super chat was? Let me try and see if I can find it. Let's see. Let's see. How can I find top chat? No, I want live chat. Then I go back to here. Brian Fredericks was very early on. Let's see. Okay. Candace Claus says, for sure don't say sleep hygiene. I know it's a terrible word, right? How do I find does anyone know where, well, who burns, tell me again. But I thought if I played this, it would go to the live chat and would show me the person's thing. Anyway, Brian Fredericks, you always have nice comments, and they are very informed. So let me know what I missed, and we can do it this time or next time. All right. So, guys, see you Thursday. Make sure you can. Yeah, Katie, if you don't like my show, listen to Pod Save America. Exactly. Yeah. So, okay, what are we supposed to comment about regarding videos? Missed it. I was peeing. Yeah. Maria, what should they be commenting on? Let's see. What should they be commenting on? let's see. What do they want me to? Videos they want to, videos that you want to see me react to. Yes, videos that you want to see me react to. You can comment there. And I think that's about it, right? Yeah, definitely do that. And yeah, I don't like that. So Lady Bunny is a drag queen comedy legend that came up with RuPaul. I didn't know that she came up with RuPaul. I know the stream hasn't even been 5 hours. I know. Sorry. Yeah, Brie was great on what's PSA? Oh, Pod Save America. Yeah. Let me see one thing. It is so cold now. I'm gonna have to put it in the heat. 1 second. Tell me how bad the sound is when I have this other heater on. Hold on. Is everyone in is it snowing where people are? Get Pod Save America on and just clown them for 10 minutes. Yeah, right. I'm sure they'll come on. 1 second. Okay. Yeah, we'll play Mayo Pete's thing next time, I mean. All right. So I think this is good, guys. I will see you guys Thursday. Make sure you subscribe. Please subscribe. I know it's a shiny forehead day. I couldn't find my other. I think I put powder on it that actually made it shinier than if I had not put anything on it. But yeah, please subscribe. And again, subscribe. And to do that, you hit subscribe and then you press the bell. And rate and review here. And also, if you want, the podcast on iTunes. Alrighty. I will see you guys Thursday. Bye, everyone. And yeah, comment. Any comments you want. We'll get to them. Bye.